Jianan saw, the killing intent of this spear is boundless, terrifying to the extreme. It seems unlikely to capture him with force. Jianan whispered to Gu Chang'e, I am the princess of the absolute sound royal court, Jianan. Can we make a deal? Gu Chang'e was surprised. Oh. She continued, in our clan, we will soon need to use the reincarnation divine art to create the reincarnation stage. And only you can do that. The absolute sound royal court can grant you one wish, even if it's to destroy the Taoist sect. Gu Chang'e thought, so it's the eldest princess, truly a big fish. Destroying the external Taoist lineage. Such big words. Then he responded. To Jianan, it's interesting, but how can I believe you without evidence? Shouldn't the eldest princess give me some benefits first? Jianan took a step closer and asked, what do you want? Gu Chang'e said, absolute sound essence, how much of it do you have? She asked in surprise, absolute sound essence. Jianan continued, you're really strange. Usually, cultivators from the outside world avoid the absolute sound essence, afraid it will devour them. The absolute sound essence is rare even in my hands, but if you want it, take it. But don't let it devour you, no problems before the trade. Gu Chang'e responded, all right, as for other matters, you don't need to trouble the eldest princess. He thought, this dead luck is indeed not bad, the first time enjoying the treatment of the protagonist. Jianan handed the spatial artifact to Gu Chang'e and said, this is a spatial artifact. Once my clan finishes creating the reincarnation stage, I will notify you with this. Chang'e took the item from Jianan and carefully examined it, saying, indeed, it's a messenger item forged from void beast bones. Suddenly, he sensed something was off. He thought, why is there still a trick? Want to conveniently track me? Chang'e turned to leave, since that's the case, I have things to do, I'll take my leave. Jianan said, all right, take care. Then, Jianan returned, and as soon as she landed, she was warmly greeted by a junior disciple, Your Majesty, you're back. Jianan only responded with a She walked over and reminded the junior disciple, remember, that human man just now is a distinguished guest of our clan. If you see him again, don't provoke him. The junior disciple obediently answered, yes, I understand, Your Majesty. Suddenly, Jianan noticed something. She thought, he was able to detect the trace of my soul left on the spatial artifact. And even sealed it. Although this person is only in the Great Sage realm, his methods are on par with the Supreme realm. After Gu Chang'e returned from the spatial rift, Jiang Suo rushed over to ask, Gu Chang'e, are you alright? Seeing Gu Chang'e's pale face, Suo asked worriedly, what's wrong with you? Gu Chang'e remained expressionless. He stood up, grabbed Jiang Suo's arm, and then held her waist, saying, the saintess actually cares about a devil, truly something to be proud of. Suo shyly stammered, I'm not, don't say that. Chang'e leaned in closer to Suo and said, Suo, I've already dealt with the absolute sound disaster here. Don't you have anything to say? Suo shyly turned her face away and stammered, what do you want to say? Thank you. Chang'e smiled, I went through so much effort to deal with the disaster, and now you want to drive me away with a single. Thank you. Want to get something for nothing? Jiang Suo felt embarrassed, then what do you want? Chang'e shushed her. Suo immediately closed her eyes after hearing that. Suddenly, she felt an unusual silence and felt confused. When she opened her eyes, she found that no one was around. Gu Chang'e soared into the sky and laughed loudly, you don't really expect me to do anything, do you? Suo became angry. You. Chang'e continued, I'm leaving, I still need to go back to the Xuanwu ancient kingdom to heal my wounds. Suo tightly clenched her hands and reminded herself, Jiang Suo, he's a devil, don't fall deeper. A few days later, after Gu Chang'e returned to the Xuanwu ancient kingdom, two elders came to greet him, young friend Chang'e, how are your injuries? Gu Xianer also quickly ran over and called, Gu Chang'e. Chang'e politely responded, thank you, two elders, for your concern. Xianer hurriedly ran over, grabbed Changa's hand, and looked, I heard you were seriously injured in the Qinglong ancient kingdom. How are you now? It's all because I casually agreed to help. Gu Changa teased, your brother is already dead, and now standing in front of you is a puppet. Sienna helplessly sighed and angrily said, this is how you are. The elder of the true immortal library laughed heartily, as expected of young friend Changa, your injury, involving the origin, has almost completely healed in such a short time. Changa humbly replied, it's just luck. Qin Feng immediately knelt and apologized, young Master Changa, I'm truly sorry. If it weren't for Xiao Yi's matter, you wouldn't have had to fight against the inheritor of the demonic arts. The Empress stood behind, hesitating, Qin Feng. Changa quickly knelt and helped Qin Feng up, saying, how can a young person say such things? I've always followed the righteous path. And would never be complicit with the inheritor of demonic arts. You don't need to worry about it. Qin Feng hesitated, but Changa frowned. Unfortunately, this encounter didn't lead to finding Xiao Yi, which makes me feel somewhat ashamed. Elder Yuan sighed, young friend Changa, there's no need to rush. The inheritor of the demonic arts is a great enemy to the world, and it's not something that can be resolved quickly. Changa turned to ask the two elders, has the library received any news about the inheritor of the demonic arts so far? The elder of the true immortal library stroked his beard and sighed, no news at the moment. Right now, Tianhuang Mountain and Foshan's are fighting, and the library is trying its best to mediate, too busy to focus on other matters. Elder Yuan added, that's right, Jin Qianzi was indeed suspicious at the time. No wonder Tianhuang Mountain didn't let him go. But the situation has developed unexpectedly. Changa was shocked, what? They're still fighting? Gu Xian'er crossed her arms and said, isn't it because of someone else's words? Now there are rumors outside that Jin Qianzi pretended to be noble and indirectly caused the fall of the divine emperor's son. Changa sighed loudly, what nonsense. Although I criticized brother Jin Qianzi's actions, no one is perfect. He might have had other difficulties at that time. Changa turned and said loudly, the urgent matter now is to find the inheritor of the demonic arts, eliminate him, and simultaneously rescue Xiao Yi. The only clue now is the Purple Sun Heavenly Monarch. Changa stroked his chin and thought, but after resting in the Black Turtle Ancient Kingdom for so many days, there has been no news of the Purple Sun Heavenly Monarch. Someone must have hidden him. Qin Feng sighed, it must be the Purple Mansion. Qin Feng squinted and smiled, the Purple Sun Heavenly Monarch is their future. What can someone like me, an unknown, and my little junior sister with extraordinary talent do? So what if the library values us? We're just fish on the chopping block, waiting to be slaughtered. The two elders couldn't help but cough a few times after hearing Qin Feng's words. In an ancient reception room, Changa said to Xian, I've heard of Saintess Xian's great reputation for a long time, and today, in person, you are indeed beautiful and captivating. Xian humbly replied, young Master Changa overpraises me. You are the true talent, and it's my blessing in 3 lifetimes to be invited by you. What can I help you with, young Master Changa? Changa smiled and said, guess, Saintess. Xian answered, I've heard various rumors lately. I know you're searching for the whereabouts of the Purple Sun, but in fact, the Purple Mansion doesn't know where he is either. Changa looked at Xian and said, if I, Gu, wanted to find him, there are countless ways to do so. There's no need to trouble Saintess Xian. The collusion between the Purple Sun Heavenly Monarch and the inheritor of the demonic arts is already an undeniable fact. I don't believe the Purple Mansion would truly allow this, it would be digging their own grave. Xian was astonished, digging their own grave. Changa continued, when Shang Chang exposed his identity, Tianhuang Mountain expressed their anger because of public opinion and eventually calmed the fury. Doesn't the Purple Mansion understand the seriousness of the situation? Xian closed her eyes, showing helplessness, but I am only a saintess, and my insignificant words do not have the power to decide. The policies of the Purple Mansion. If young Master Chang'e could point out a way, I would certainly explain the pros and cons. Chang'e said, no need to trouble yourself. If Saintess Xian truly cares about the future of the Purple Mansion, then stay here. Xian was stunned upon hearing this, and she blurted out, what? Chang'e calmly said, Saintess need not worry. I am an upright person, and I'm sure you've heard of it. Just claim that you were placed under house arrest by me. Xian was puzzled. House arrest? What do you mean? Chang'e looked at Xian sideways, smiling, don't worry, Saintess. You'll understand soon. He thought to himself, of course, I'll use you to lure the fish. Xian was confused, thinking to herself, does he know that there's been internal conflict in the Purple Mansion because of this matter? Is he trying to use me to pressure the Purple Mansion? Oh well, I'll just watch for now. After all, he doesn't dare to do anything to me. As the sunset cast its glow, people gathered and discussed, big news. Chang'e has captured the Saintess of the Purple Mansion, and even some Purple Mansion cultivators. In Black Turtle City, another person said, is this true? What does he want to do? Another person responded, it seems young Master Chang'e is willing to pay any price to find the whereabouts of the Purple Sun Heavenly Monarch. The King of Six Passes commented, is this the plan of Chang'e? Too immature. A red-haired person asked in confusion, Lord King of Six Passes, do you mean? A purple-haired person added, isn't Chang'e's action wrong? The King of Six Passes laughed, I want you to think more. The Purple Mansion's influence is not small. Even if Chang'e captures that woman, he doesn't dare to do anything to her. In short, it's just a threat. As for the Purple Sun Heavenly Monarch, although not as strong as me, he is still an extraordinary genius. If he can break through and stand firm again, he will surely achieve greater accomplishments. He explained, the Purple Mansion still has great ambitions and plans to expand, and the Purple Sun Heavenly Monarch is their hope. Therefore, unless they take decisive action, the Purple Mansion won't easily let him go. So, Chang'e acted too hastily without seeing this point. Remember, when doing things, one must not only be brave but also think carefully. The three of them agreed, and everyone expressed admiration. Indeed, it is Lord King of the Six Halls. At another location, a goose said to Yingyu, Your Highness, now both princes. You need to calm down. Yingyu sighed. She looked up at the sky and said, the late gentleman sent a message saying that Lord Xiang, in collaboration with those inheritors of demonic powers, framed the Divine Prince, and the Purple Mansion sheltered Lord Xiang, deliberately opposing the Heavenly Emperor Mountain. This cannot be tolerated. At that moment, in the sky, Gu Xianer was flying swiftly on the large Qing. She coldly crossed her arms and said, it's all my incompetence. I couldn't protect Xiao Yi well. I also want to find Lord Xiang by my own strength. I can't always rely on that guy. Suddenly, the Qing said something to Xianer. She widened her eyes. Is there a treasure? She said, the Qing, it's not that I'm saying you, but you have to prioritize the important matters. Now is not the time to search for treasures. The clue to Lord Xiang hasn't appeared yet, how can I focus on finding treasures? Before Xianer could finish, the Qing continued to speak to her. After listening, Xianer immediately instructed the Qing to return quickly. She was astonished. What? Essence seeds? Why didn't you say so earlier? Hurry, it's extremely rare. Xianer, riding the Qing, laughed triumphantly, it's all mine. Below, Teng Wunai had already seen everything. And secretly thought, this lively personality is indeed a bit different from junior sister. Wunai looked at the reincarnation lake water bottle in his hand and thought, now is not the right time. If I make her drink the reincarnation lake water, it could cause many things to happen. Let me help Senior Brother Xiang solve his trouble first, and then we can meet. Then the four of us can reunite. At dusk in the Purple Mansion, a panicked voice sounded, Humph, this young person is truly irritating. The sect leader of the Purple Mansion, Lu Ming, angrily said, "What does it have to do with me if the elders shelter Xiang? Not only did they imprison my daughter, but they also dared to say my happiness is in their hands. How audacious. Does he think he's the young master of the Gu family, and I can't deal with him?" His wife said, "Why get so angry, my lord? The imprisonment is just for show. Xian is clever and won't come to harm. As for the happiness issue, if we do end up with a grandson, won't the one suffering be him?" Lu Ming nodded. My wife makes a good point. Anyway, that boy is the future leader of the Gu family, and that girl from the peerless immortal dynasty doesn't seem to be married yet. If Xian marries him first, that girl will. At an ancient ruin, Xiang saw Ting Wunai land and immediately ran over shouting, "Senior brother, I've finally been waiting for you." Wunai asked in confusion, "Ah Yang, what exactly happened?" "I heard you and the inheritors of demonic powers." Xiang frowned and said, "Senior brother, this matter. I was framed. Please listen to my explanation." After an explanation, Wunai finally understood the situation. "I see, I didn't expect things to develop like this." Xiang pleaded, "Senior brother, you must help me. I really have no way out." Wunai looked at Xiang and said, "This matter is completely a complex matter of destiny. But I'm still a bit confused. Why are there two inheritors of demonic powers, and why can someone use your red gate purple chi?" Xiang rubbed his forehead. "I don't know either, but I've used the heavenly eye to see through it. Although the details are unclear, but," he said firmly, "this matter must have something to do with Gu Changa." Wunai was puzzled. Gu Changa? But how did he do it? Xiang grabbed his head, angrily shouting, "That guy is ruthless, like a poisonous snake. Hiding underground, only ghosts know how he does it. The urgent matter now is to restore my reputation, or there will be no way to explain it." Xiang stood up and said, "Today, because Xian was captured, the internal discord in the Purple Mansion has worsened, and many elders are beginning to lean towards the Changjiao. More importantly, Xian's future partner was originally arranged by the Purple Mansion for me, but now it's all in chaos, so." Wunai stood up, "So you want me to help you rescue her, right?" Xiang looked at Wunai and said, "That's right, with my strength, I really can't save her in front of Gu Changa." Wunai patted Xiang's shoulder, saying firmly, "I understand. This is the only way to resolve this situation. We can't let the Purple Mansion be controlled by him. Leave it to me." Xiang's eyes filled with tears after hearing this. He immediately hugged Wunai, deeply grateful, "Senior brother, now only you can help me. I really feel so helpless." Wunai simply responded with a light, A voice came from another room, "I lost again." Ziyan's face was covered in paint, and she said with grievance, "Young master, can't you give us a little leeway?" Gu Changa smiled faintly, Ching, isn't it enough that I gave in?" Song Ching helplessly replied. "Young master, can I not answer?" Ziyan angrily said, "Continue, I don't believe I will keep losing." Changa stood up, "Forget it, you can't win anyway." Ziyan angrily interrupted, "Where did that come from?" Changa continued, "Forget it, there's no more space on your face to paint, if we keep going, I'll have to paint on your body." Upon hearing this, Ziyan's face turned red and hot. She asked Changa, "Also, young master, you've been looking at the door, is something going on?" He thought for a moment and said, "I suddenly feel uneasy, looks like there will be some turmoil these days." Ziyan, the saintess, should be careful. Ziyan asked in confusion, "Me?" Gu Changa suggested, "Why don't you come stay with me for the next few days?" Ziyan, startled, replied, I won't have children for you." Changa turned to look at her, does the saintess Ziyan think about that every day? He thought deeply, "What I mean is, you should move into my house, in case anything happens, I can take care of you." Ziyan suddenly understood, You mean?" She looked at Changa and asked, "Will I be in danger?" Changa explained, "If I were the Purple Sun Heavenly Lord, the first thing I would do is send someone to kill you. After all, once you're dead, the purple mansion has no other options. Ziyan frowned after hearing this. She had some concerns about Changa's words. As night fell, the crescent-shaped moon began to rise. Duan Wui wrapped himself up tightly and thought to himself, the guards here are tight, it seems Gu Changa really has been severely injured as the rumors say. If I can quietly rescue the Saintess Ziyan, it will be a fulfillment of my junior brother's commission. As he walked, he thought, with my methods, Gu Changa will definitely not notice. Duan Wui was certain, and today, he's heavily injured, so I can move freely around the mansion now. Meanwhile, Gu Changa also wore a proud yet dangerous smile. A thin hand suddenly grabbed Ziyan's arm. This startled her, and she quickly shook off the hand grabbing her, shouting, "Who are you?" Duan Wui hurriedly whispered to reassure her, "Saintess Ziyan, don't be afraid, I'm here to save you." Ziyan warily stepped back and questioned, "Save me? Are you sent by the Purple Sun Heavenly Lord to kill me?" Duan Wui seriously explained, "That's right, junior brother Ziyang sent me to rescue you, hurry up, come with me, this place isn't safe." The person behind hurriedly pointed and shouted, "Stop, who are you? How dare you grab the Saintess's hand, what are you trying to do?" Ziyan still skeptically asked, "Are you sure he was sent to save me, not to kill me?" Duan Wui asked in confusion, "What does that mean?" He thought, "Forget it, at this point, I have no choice but to forcefully take her away." With this thought, Duan Wui cast a spell, releasing his aura to push everyone back. Ziyan exclaimed, "What?" Her face was filled with shock as she widened her eyes, thinking to herself, in just an instant, he pushed back so many experts from the Purple Mansion. This strength, he's probably at least at the Great Saint level. Duan Wui released his aura and walked closer to Ziyan. "There's no time to explain, we've caused trouble." Ziyan was suppressed by his power and couldn't move, only thinking, his aura has locked me down. I can't move, how strong is this person? Suddenly, a hand reached out from somewhere and tightly grabbed Duan Wui's wrist. He looked at the hand in surprise. "Gu Changa, is that you?" Gu Changa seriously spoke, "I already guessed that person was just bait, so I pretended to chase after them, a clever strategy to lead the tiger out of the mountain, very well done." With just a swing of his palm, Gu Changa pushed Qin Wunai far away. Beside him, Ziyan loudly chimed in, "This time, thanks to young Master Changa, who saved me from the deadly plot of the Ziyang Heavenly Lord. I will definitely report this to my father." Qin Wunai, hearing this, felt a bit flustered and thought to himself, "A tiger leaving the mountain strategy, this is bad. The assassin wasn't here to kill Gu Changa, but was sent to kill Ziyan. This misunderstanding is serious. What should I do?" Gu Changa impatiently asked aloud, "Who exactly are you? Take off your mask. If you speak the truth, I'll spare your life. Otherwise..." Qin Wunai frowned, thinking, if I explain too much now, it will only make things worse. Better to. As soon as he thought of this, Qin Wunai pointed at Gu Changa and shouted, "Gu Changa, what is your real scheme in imprisoning Saintess Zi's mansion?" "I'm just a passerby who saw you doing something wrong and came to rescue her from your demonic ways." Upon hearing this, Gu Changa sneered arrogantly, "Demonic ways? Do you want to turn the situation around in front of so many people? Which of your eyes saw Saintess imprisoned by me?" Ziyan, standing beside him, couldn't help but angrily reply, "You're really good at talking, admitting yourself that you've received the Ziyang's orders." The high-level experts of the Z mansion questioned him. "That's right, this guy was just about to secretly take Saintess Z away. He's clearly no good, sneaking around. He must be in cahoots with the person from earlier." Facing their accusations, Qin Wunai could only sigh and say, "This is troublesome. If it's like this." He then continued to release his magical power, gathering a strong aura that shone brilliantly. He then said, "Let's do this." The powerful aura shot up into the sky, forming a whirlwind that alarmed the people outside. They looked up in surprise. "That's the aura of a semi-divine realm expert, and it seems like it's coming from young Master Gu's mansion. What happened? Inside the mansion, the scene became even more intense. Qin Wunai kept releasing his aura, shining like a halo, causing Ziyan to step back in fear. No. I didn't expect him to be a semi-supreme. What should we do now? Gu Chang'e, unafraid, just showed a faint smile of interest and replied, of course, we fight him. Despite the overwhelming aura, Qin Wunai's gaze remained firm as he stared at Gu Chang'e. The high-level experts immediately charged at Qin Wunai in unison, let's go together and capture him. A group of friends surrounded him and shouted, don't let him take the Saintis. Qin Wunai coldly scanned everyone and said, with just you guys, you think you can stop me? He then stomped the ground, and his aura exploded, sending the surrounding experts flying. At this moment, Ziyan seemed to lose all resistance as she was pulled toward Qin Wunai in shock. What? Gu Chang'e quickly reached out to gently support Ziyan's body and sarcastically said, you want to take the Saintis in front of me? Gu Chang'e's expression suddenly became sharp, and he said, looks like my methods have been too gentle lately. Without hesitation, he launched a massive palm toward Qin Wunai. He shouted loudly, do you think you're impressive? The collision of the two powerful auras instantly triggered an earthquake in the night sky. Gu Chang'e leaped into the air, chasing after Qin Wunai, who was floating. Qin Wunai was a bit surprised and thought, great sage realm. The two beams of light continued to collide fiercely in the air, with brilliance flashing constantly. Ziyan stood below, silently watching, thinking to herself, I didn't expect young Master Chang'e to be able to contend with a semi-supreme. She thought, how did Ziyang find such a strong person? The power of Z Mansion won't help him kill me, right? Gu Chang'e clenched his fist in the air, gathering strength. The people below couldn't help but exclaim, young Master Chang'e is indeed the leader of the righteous path. Opposite him, Qin Wunai was equally unyielding, his gaze firm as he extended a powerful fist toward Gu Chang'e. Thinking, using the great sage realm cultivation to face a semi-supreme, this guy is really strange. The collision of the two tremendous forces caused a thunderous roar. The experts in the air looked at the scene in front of them, surprised, what's going on tonight? Young Master Chang'e, still injured, is fighting again. I heard there was an assassin in black who tried to assassinate him but fled after failing, and this person was hiding in the dark, preparing to use a tiger leaving the mountain strategy to deal with Saintess Z. The Enforcer Hall and the Immortal Emperor's daughter appeared and spoke, this is truly a hidden strategy. If something happens to Ziyan, young Master Chang'e will be in big trouble. Someone responded, that's right. If that happens, the situation will spiral out of control, after all, Z Mansion is not a small force. The Xianhuang woman was silent for a moment, her tone carrying some surprise, so this is the hidden strength of Gu Chang'e. He really didn't use his full power when dealing with Ziyang at the academy earlier. King Lu Guan beside her also said seriously, that mysterious figure is already at the quasi-supreme realm. This person can contend with him at the great sage realm, it seems he's about to reach that realm too. The Xianhuang woman sighed with a hint of shame, sigh, all these powerful disciples, I'm so far behind him. No wonder. The divine prince had supreme chi protecting his body but still died, while the supreme chi left by Gu Chang'e in the land of silence only left him seriously injured. It seems he truly deserves to be the leader of the younger generation. King Lu Guan, still excited, laughed aloud, as expected, he's my favorite opponent. His face hidden behind the ghost mask, his voice suddenly turned steady, looks like if I were to fight him, I'd have to lift the seal on this level. The battle returned to the sky, with Gu Chang'e retreating quickly to avoid the arrows of light shooting towards him. Many green smoke balls appeared in the sky. Ziyan looked up in surprise, young Master Chang'e. Tan Wunai didn't seem too affected, still charging forward with a determined gaze, thinking to himself, even if you are extraordinary, able to fight against the quasi-supreme realm, you still haven't crossed that threshold. In the vast sky, Tan Wunai flew towards Gu Chang'e like a light arrow, shouting loudly, use Daoist techniques, unite the sword and self. The smoke-filled air obscured their vision, and Tan Wunai's protective sword was blocked by a large stone shield, cracking apart. Tan Wunai flew out from the shattered sword pieces, blood spraying in the air. The mask was now torn, revealing Tan Wunai's true face. He thought in horror, I actually forgot this item. Gu Chang'e appeared from behind the smoke, frowning and shouting loudly, so it's you, Tan Wunai. People at the back immediately recognized him, whispering, what? Tan Wunai, isn't he the person from the Stone Clan? Another person was equally surprised, is it really him? That explains it. He seems to have a close relationship with the Divine Prince Xiang. Tan Wunai realized his identity had been exposed and anxiously thought, damn it, I'm exposed. Looks like I can't continue. Gu Chang'e stood facing him, shouting loudly, I didn't expect your relationship with Xiang to be so close that you'd risk your life. For him. Tell me. Where is the Divine Prince Xiang? People behind him loudly echoed, yes, quickly tell us where Xiang is. Tan Wunai didn't respond, only gently took out a glowing jade stone. King Lu Guan was also quite surprised, that's. The Xianhuang woman beside him widened her eyes in shock, it's a fragment of the rare stone. What is he trying to do? King Lu Guan loudly continued, he's trying to escape. A beam of light flashed in the dim night sky, and in the blink of an eye, Tan Wunai vanished behind the light beam. People shouted, damn it, he still managed to escape. Someone behind immediately shouted. Young Master Chang'e seems to be injured. A woman beside them added, after all, he was dealing with a quasi-supreme, and forcibly using the supreme chi probably caused his old wounds to relapse. Sure enough, at that moment, Gu Chang'e, holding his chest in pain, blood dripping from his mouth, coughed a few times, seems I still pushed myself too hard. Gu Chang'e gently landed, and Xian hurriedly ran forward, young Master Chang'e, how are you? Others anxiously asked, young Master Chang'e. Are you alright? Gu Chang'e, weak in body, took heavy steps, I'm fine, just regret not being able to capture them. Xian hurriedly responded, young Master Chang'e did his best. How can you say that? It's all my fault for dragging you down. Gu Chang'e still felt disappointed. And continued, Saintess, you needn't blame yourself. It was my responsibility to invite you to the manor and protect you. He turned around and, with a voice full of trust, loudly announced, everyone, don't worry. Although I wasn't able to keep him, I've left a mark on him. He won't escape. Let him help us find the whereabouts of Divine Prince Xiang. Everyone cheered after hearing this, great. As expected of young Master Chang'e, always so careful. The scene shifted, a carriage sped through the air, with Du Wan sitting inside, looking extremely frustrated. She spoke out, damn it, I was just enjoying flowers with Brother Hao, what does Gu Chang'e want from me? If I could, I really wouldn't want to go. At this moment, two figures appeared in mid-air behind her, watching the carriage. One spoke, Hao, seems like your childhood friend is hiding quite a lot from you. Chu Hao, standing beside them, replied thoughtfully, I know. I still need to grow stronger. That way, the Yuan family won't look down on me, and Gu Chang'e won't bully me or the people around me anymore. Bai Yang stroked his beard, his tone tinged with pride, good. After your cultivation improves, when you take charge of the supreme cave heaven, no one will dare to bully you. Though Gu Chang'e is powerful, after all, he's just a junior. Chu Hao looked up at the dim sky and continued, Master, I want to follow to the Xuanwu ancient kingdom. I can't let go of Wan'er. Bai Yang responded seriously, alright, I'll accompany you. Cultivation ultimately requires a clear heart. If there are obstacles, how can one stabilize their Tao heart? Chu Hao happily shouted, thank you, Master. With you accompanying me, I feel at ease. In the midst of a ruin, Xiang paced back and forth, constantly cursing, damn it, is Xingqiang really that lucky? Why is he causing trouble at this moment? Did he really assassinate Gu Chang'e? Does he have that ability? Doesn't he know his own limits? Qin helplessly sat on a stone, frowning as he interrupted, Junior brother, don't rush. This matter is very strange. Ziyang turned around in surprise after hearing this. Strange? What do you mean, senior brother? Qin helplessly stood up slowly and explained, at first, I thought someone was trying to kill Gu Chang'e. After all, someone recognized that the assassin was a subordinate of the demonic cultivation inheritor. He recalled the scene of Xian covered in wounds and felt some pain in his heart, but later, I realized that Xian was the target of the assassin. However, by then it was too late. I was forced to get involved with the demonic cultivation inheritor without knowing the situation. Ziyang asked in shock, so, that person wanted to kill Xian? Why? I don't understand. Qin helplessly said slowly, at first, I didn't understand either, but I thought about it for a long time, and it seemed that the appearance of the assassin in black robes was just too coincidental. Plus, when I fought Gu Chang'e, I found that he wasn't injured at all. A trace of surprise flashed across Ziyang's face, and sweat gradually formed on his stiff face. Qin helplessly continued, a healthy Gu Chang'e, the appearance of a demonic cultivation assassin, everything fits too perfectly. And you have a connection with the demonic cultivation inheritor, and I am closely related to you. He expressed his doubt seriously, everything seems to have been arranged in advance. Don't you find it too strange? What if that black-robed assassin is actually Gu Chang'e's person? What if he is the evil mastermind behind it all? Hearing this, Ziyang's face filled with shock, his eyes widened, and he clenched his teeth, listening to every word Qin helplessly said. Could it be that everything is starting to make sense? At that moment, a face filled with killing intent seemed to appear before Ziyang, making him feel a surge of fear, thinking to himself, could it be that what the heavenly eye saw was really Gu Chang'e? At this moment, the heavenly eye on Ziyang's forehead suddenly emitted a bead of bright red blood. Qin helplessly shouted in worry, Yang, what happened? Ziyang, startled, reached up to touch his forehead and replied, I suddenly understand why I saw Gu Chang'e in little junior sister's future fragments back then. He gritted his teeth, thinking of how little junior sister was tortured, my anger is burning. Stop speculating, that must be the demonic cultivation inheritor. We can't let this go. Little junior sister is in danger, we must warn her. If we don't, she will still think Gu Chang'e is a good brother. Qin helplessly hurriedly advised, Yang, our situation is very unfavorable now. You need to think carefully, acting impulsively could expose us. If Gu Chang'e catches us, not even the underworld can save you. And right now, she trusts Gu Chang'e very much. She surely thinks we are sowing discord, and that will create distance between us. Ziyang waved his hand carelessly, senior brother, I've made my decision. Waiting any longer will only put little junior sister in more danger. His eyes were firm as he said loudly, by the way, senior brother, didn't you get the water from the reincarnation lake? If we make little junior sister drink it to recover her memory, I believe she will definitely stand by our side. Qin helplessly asked in a deep voice, do you mean to force little junior sister to drink the reincarnation lake water? Ziyang sighed, I don't want to, but if little junior sister doesn't trust us, we have no choice but to resort to this extreme measure. Things have reached this point, we have to take a gamble. He was silent for a moment before continuing, now, the most important thing is how to find little junior sister. Qin helplessly touched his chin and said seriously, I know where she is now. If you've made your decision, wait here for me. I'll bring her to us. Qin helplessly took out a small bottle and continued, when the time comes, we'll work together. Even if she has some secret weapon, it will be under our control. The scene switched to another ancient tomb, where someone was dragging a large bundle out of the tomb's main door. Gu Xianni panted heavily, letting out a sigh of relief, so much loot, the spatial ring is full. She fantasized about stepping on Gu Chang'e, feeling proud as she thought, now I'm half holy. If I refine these genius treasures to enhance my strength, After that, Gu Xianni quickly flew toward the sky like lightning, leaving the Qin struggling to drag the bag. She thought to herself, I should go look for clues about Xiang Xinjun. I wonder what Gu Chang'e plans to do. During the flight, Gu Xianni suddenly sensed a lingering aura and exclaimed in surprise, which idiot didn't hide their aura? Gu Xianni lightly landed behind a large stone, where Qin helplessly was practicing his techniques. She was surprised and thought to herself, is he the one who jumped out of the stone? At this moment, Qin helplessly suddenly spat out blood, staggering as he stood up and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Damn it, I was too careless this time. I didn't expect Gu Chang'e to hide so deep, he's actually the demonic cultivation inheritor. Qin Wunai, despite being severely injured, kept cursing loudly, does he really think he can fool everyone in the world and fool me? He kidnapped Qin Xiaoyi and framed junior brother Xiang, but now he's planning to use others to kill. He's truly deep in scheming. After speaking, he quickly flew up and vanished in an instant. Gu Xian'er, hiding behind a large stone, was stunned. Widening her eyes and silently thinking, what does he mean by all this? Is Gu Chang'e really the inheritor of the demonic arts? Impossible, if he's the heir of the demonic arts, how could he be injured by them over and over again? She suddenly remembered and thought, he mentioned Xiang, right? At that moment, Gu Chang'e and the others had already arrived at the vast desert. He stood high in the air and said, ahead is the MANHWA mountain range of the Xuanwu ancient kingdom, and Xiang Xinjun is in the area ahead. Everyone, seal off every entrance here, no cultivator or living being is allowed to enter or exit. Everyone responded in unison, yes, master. Another person added, all right. Young Master Chang'e. Gu Chang'e, with a blank expression, revealed a meaningful smile, the purple mansion must be making a move too, right? I should inform the Green Emperor in advance. I have to say, these fateful divine talents are really useful. Even Qin Wunai hasn't noticed the aura of reincarnation. He then maintained that smile, looking towards the group of Xianhuang Nu. He thought, I wonder what kind of inherited talents I will get by killing them. Xianhuang Nu, from high up, received Gu Chang'e's subtle smile and was confused, what does he mean? Beside her, Lu Junwang stood with his arms crossed, replying, this is respect for the opponent. After all, in the younger generation, no one but me can fight him. Xianhuang Nu's gaze was full of doubt as she thought, are you sure that isn't a malicious look? Suddenly, a strange object appeared high in the sky. Gu Chang'e looked up in surprise, is that Xian'er's silly bird? The Qin desperately flapped its wings, flying over with a large bag. A beam of light suddenly streaked across the sky. Qin Wunai lightly descended from the sky, and Xiang excitedly shouted, Senior brother, you've finally returned. Did you find out everything? Qin Wunai responded seriously, it's really Gu Chang'e, he's been scheming behind the scenes. He's truly the inheritor of the demonic arts. Xiang was shocked and loudly said, I suspected it from the very beginning. I didn't expect Gu Chang'e to really be the inheritor of the demonic arts. Qin Wunai frowned angrily and said, that's right, you can know a person's face, but not their heart. I didn't expect him to hide it so well and deceive everyone. Gu Xian'er had also followed them and was hiding behind a large stone. Qin Wunai continued with sarcasm, he deceived and killed the God Prince, framed Xing and instigated the conflict between Tianhuang Mountain and Faxing Mountain. All these things were planned by him, and the genius perished at his hands. Now he's pretending to be a righteous person, it's truly ironic. At this moment, Gu Xian'er couldn't help but shout, enough, shut up. She drew out the Qingbao sword and shouted loudly, you say these things without evidence, and now you want to frame me? Xiang was shocked and yelled, sister, are you Gu Xian'er's junior sister? How are you here? Gu Xian'er angrily interrupted, stop acting. You didn't conceal your aura while treating your injuries and mentioned Gu Chang'e. Aren't you purposely trying to lure me here? She gripped the Qingbao sword tightly and continued to question, you want to drive a wedge between us, using me to deal with him, right? You really think I'm that foolish? Xiang sighed helplessly. Sister Sienna, my actions with senior brother are actually for your own good. Didn't you find this situation a little familiar? Gu Xianer still hadn't calmed down, giving a cold glance and sneering, I don't recognize it at all, just feel like I want to vomit. Speak properly. Xiang didn't give up, continuing to explain, everything is as you've heard, Gu Chang'e is actually the true inheritor of the demonic arts. Sooner or later, he will make a move on you, devouring everything of yours. Since you are my and senior brother's little sister in the past life, but you just don't remember it. He firmly took out a small bottle containing reincarnation lake water and continued, Sister, don't remain lost. Drink this, and you'll recover your past life memories, you will understand everything. Gu Xianer couldn't help but wave the Qingbao sword, pointing it at the two of them, shouting, what kind of nonsense water is this? I don't believe it. Even if my future is like this, I accept it willingly. Xiang was infuriated by her stubbornness and angrily said, Gu Chang'e has always wanted to harm you, and you're pointing your sword at me. If you're really this foolish, don't blame us for taking action. Qin Wunai hurriedly urged from behind, Yang, let's use all our strength, hurry up, before this drags on further. Xiang's eyes were filled with killing intent as he responded, fine. Then let's wake up Sister Sienna. Immediately after, Gu Sienna and Xiang rushed towards each other without hesitation. She shouted and unleashed the 3 talents Qing flame sword. 2 terrifying forces collided directly, causing a huge tremor in the desert. Out of nowhere, Xiang kicked Gu Sienna hard. She was hit head-on and instantly flew out, dropping the Qingbao sword along with her. At this moment, Tan Wunai had already moved rapidly to her back, casting a formation to try to control Gu Sienna, shouting, I've got her. Gu Sienna was trapped in the formation, shocked, and yelled, Are you a quasi-supreme? Tan Wunai hurriedly shouted. Yang, hurry up. Xiang seized the opportunity and rushed forward, drink this, and you'll remember everything. The medicine bottle was nearing Gu Sienna's mouth, her eyes filled with fear, and tears were welling up in her eyes. Suddenly, Gu Chang'e appeared in front of her, kicking Xiang away. Xiang spat blood and sternly said, Can anyone feed and make you drink like that? Yang, something shot through 2 stone cities, shattering them into countless fragments. Tan Wunai, while using magic to bind Gu Sienna, shouted loudly, Gu Chang'e, how did you find this place? Chang'e stood in front of them and turned around coldly to look at him. Wunai widened his eyes, furrowing his brows and sweating. After taking 3 steps, he jumped into the air. Chang'e, holding the chained Gu Sienna, turned to look at her as she stood weakly, asking, What's wrong? Sienna, tears in her eyes, said, Gu Chang'e, they kept saying you're the true inheritor of the demonic arts and showed me memory fragments. He, expressionless, reached out and pinched her face gently, saying softly, Weren't you firm before? Why are you doubting now? Just trust your heart. She wiped her eyes and kept telling herself inside, Trust yourself. Suddenly, someone flew up from underground, dust flying everywhere. He shouted loudly, Dao Xian, don't believe his words, he's trying to steal your essence. Chang'e and she looked at the 2 figures in the sky, saying, enough. I can't believe those who wouldn't even harm you are now striking so fiercely. He stepped forward, standing in front of her, speaking gently, Don't move, leave them to me, I'll force them to tell me where Xiaoqingyi is. Her eyes closely followed him, thinking silently, it's their plot. How could Gu Chang'e harm me? A person so proud wouldn't even bother to deceive me. The 2 people in the sky stood, their faces full of anger. Tan Wunai was surrounded by green light and said, Junior brother, don't hesitate. Go up. Xiang, wrapped in purple light, responded, Fine, no matter what, let's get junior sister to drink the reincarnation lake water first. Dream on. Suddenly, a beam of light shot towards the place where the 2 stood. Wunai charged toward the light and the 2 made contact, releasing an incredibly strong force. Not acting anymore. You weren't injured, you're the mastermind. He coldly laughed and said, "Ridiculous, you're too weak." Was Hongshan's decision. He released a powerful beam of light that sent the orange-haired person flying far away. The white-haired man looked on in shock. "Senior brother, Gu Changa, I won't let you go." Ziyang raised his hands to his mouth and shouted, "Hongmeng Great Hand Seal." Two purple magical whirlpools began to form on his hands. A pair of purple hands suddenly appeared in the air, seemingly trying to grab Changa. "You won't get away with it. What do you think you are?" His eyes erupted with murderous intent, and something seemed to burst from his eyes. He closed his eyes, opened his arms, and a giant magical circle appeared behind him. It exploded, destroying the two massive hands. He seemed shocked by his own strength, exclaiming, "What?" He charged forward, delivering a heavy strike to Ziyang's face, causing him to bleed. A cold smile flashed in his eyes. "Are you awake now?" Another group of people stood by watching the fight. "There's quite a commotion over there, looks like they've found Ziyang, wonder how the battle's going." Ziyang was knocked away, a circle of chains surrounding him, and the Ziyang god was bound by the circle, unable to move. Changa swiftly rushed forward, surrounded by hundreds of flying swords, attacking Ziyang god. "You colluded with the inheritor of the demonic arts, murdered academy disciples, and tried to chase after the saintess of Zifu. What kind of sins have you committed?" Ziyang panicked and shouted, You're slandering me, those things were all you're doing." The sword started to merge into one, forming a huge beam of light. He walked step by step onto the giant sword. Chingu said loudly, "You want to frame me when death is upon you?" The giant sword was hovering above Ziyang's head. He was bound and unable to move. If that sword fell, there would be no escape. Ziyang shouted, "Chingu, stop acting already, alright? You're really disgusting." At the critical moment, a giant sword flew from somewhere. Chingji's golden giant sword slashed down fiercely, creating a thunderous explosion as it collided. Everything around shattered into pieces. "Senior brother." Ziyang was surprised to see Tian Wuyo suddenly standing in front of him. Wuyo, out of breath, said, "Chingji's realm has probably already surpassed what it seems. Be careful, don't fall into his trap. You go play with him." Chingu placed a small object on the ground like a pyramid. Suddenly, that object grew huge, pressing heavily on Wuyo. "Senior brother." Ziyang shouted from below, Yang. Run." Wuyo couldn't protect Ziyang because he was supporting the giant object. Chingu, glowing red like flames, sneered and quickly flew towards Ziyang. Wuyo glanced down, his face tense, sweat constantly flowing. He thought, "Damn, if the 9 heavens item appears here, people will see through it. How will I be different from the one inheriting the demonic arts then? But if I don't use Yang." Countless green lightning suddenly struck from Tian Wuyo, catching his attention. Chingu whispered with interest, "Oh, interesting, what a remarkable treasure." The green lightning gathered, and Wuyo transformed into a giant green dragon. He made the dragon crash its head into the object, preventing it from falling. Then he quickly rushed towards Ziyang. Chingu provocatively said, "Aren't you afraid of becoming the target of everyone's attack?" Tian Wuyo replied, "Is there time to think about that now? I value the bond between our sect more than you do, unlike you, cold-blooded and heartless, harming your own sister for personal gain." Chingu slightly frowned, silent. A group of people was slowly approaching. "Everyone look, it's really Ziyang God King, we've finally caught him." "Bad, we've been found out." The two looked at each other nervously. Ziyang, in ragged clothes, coughed a few times while holding his chest. Wuyo sweated profusely, tightly gripping Ziyang's hand. "Junior brother, we must leave quickly. This person looks like he's trying to boost his fame by suppressing us. We don't have enough evidence to prove his identity. A wise man doesn't suffer losses in front of him. Right now." He was interrupted by Ziyang, "Senior brother." The huge object was still blocked by the green dragon. They looked at Cheng Gu, And Xiang said, "It seems we're not getting out of this today. The current situation is probably part of his plan." Qinggu narrowed his eyes and smiled, looking proudly as everything seemed to be going according to his plan. Xiang frowned and closed his eyes, struggling to hold back tears, "Rather than both of us dying here." He pushed Wuyo away with his magic, then shouted, "Senior brother, go. His target is me, don't worry about me, I can hold him off for a while." Wuyo was pushed far away. "Ah Yang. What are you doing? Stop doing foolish things, hurry and run with me." A group of people was quickly flying towards them. "Everyone look, isn't that the assassin who tried to kill the saintess?" The crowd said in unison, "That's him. In this unfavorable situation, staying here is not a good idea." Wuyo said, "Not good, Yang, quick." Xiang covered his face with his hand. "Senior brother, you've always been stronger and smarter than me. As long as you're alive, one day you'll be able to save junior sister." Xiang gently touched his forehead and cast a small spell, his voice could be heard no matter how far. He closed his eyes, his face full of contentment, smiling as he said, "And senior brother still has sister Wanner, she's waiting for you. Go now." Tian Wuyo's eyes were filled with tears as he shouted unwillingly, "Ah Yang. I." Xiang shouted, "Damn." Wuyo quickly left. Qinggu saw everything and immediately shouted, "Fellow Taoists, that person wants to run, stop him." 3 figures quickly rushed forward, blocking the helpless escape route. "Everyone, go together and capture him." He created a small magic ball with his hand. "A bunch of fools, get out of the way." He kept throwing the magic ball towards the approaching group, angrily thinking, "He's deliberately luring them here. If I don't kill them, I can't leave. If I kill them now, I will be confirmed as an accomplice." Crying helplessly and feeling wronged, "Ah Yang, brother is incompetent, I apologize to you." Xiang said loudly, "Hongmengzi gas seed." Countless purple halos began to appear around, covering the entire sky with purple, the blinding light, forcing everyone to raise their hands to shield their faces. Someone shouted, "Don't be reckless, he still has protective methods." Another said, "I didn't expect he still has such a divine object." Xiang stood facing Chang'e, his whole body surrounded by purple light, with a magic ball emitting continuous purple halos above his head. Chang'e spoke expressionlessly, "Oh, no wonder the people from Zifu value you so much." Xiang responded, "Gu Chang'e, I know this won't work on you, but..." He had a serious expression, with a glimmer of hope in his eyes. Xiang said loudly, "But I believe that one day, heaven will punish you." Chang'e sneered, waving his hand, and a long beam of light cut through the air. "If that day really comes, I hope heaven has the ability to punish me." He smiled arrogantly, raising his hands to suspend the golden arrow in midair. His expression revealed danger, his eyes flickering with a blood-red light. He emphasized with each word, "Otherwise, I will pierce through it." At the place where Gu Xianer was, a strange phenomenon appeared in the sky. A large circle opened between the clouds, with something shining inside. Gu Xianer silently observed, still thinking about Tang Wunai's words, holding the corner of her skirt. She thought to herself, "Gu Chang'e defeated them so badly. Why do I feel a bit uncomfortable?" Gu Xianer wore a worried expression. Before the cycle of water tribulation, could it be true what they said? Gu Chang'e is the true heir of the demonic arts. At that moment, another golden light appeared from the previous cloud, falling straight from the sky. A small ball was slowly forming between 2 currents of golden and green primal energy, with electric currents surrounding it. At the same time, Xiang also saw the strange phenomenon in the sky. He exclaimed in surprise, "What?" But Xiang was too focused on the sky and didn't see that Gu Chang'e was right in front of him. Slap! With a loud sound, Gu Chang'e's palm struck Xiang's face, leaving him stunned. After slapping Xiang into a daze, Gu Chang'e immediately leapt into the air. Countless swords rapidly fell toward the Xiang who was lying on the ground. Xiang's body shrank, coughing, before shouting desperately, no. A golden light beam shot directly at Xiang's position, and the surrounding dust was also stirred up. Gu Chang'e withdrew his hand, standing high above, looking down, holding a sparkling purple bead. He said to Xiang below, "This thing is a waste in your hands." Gu Chang'e said arrogantly, "I am a kind person. Seeing you like this makes me unable to bear it. Let me send you off happily." Though he said this, Gu Chang'e felt a bit confused inside, as things were not going as he had expected. Strange, I'm really about to kill him, why hasn't help arrived yet? Xiang was already lifeless, lying on the ground, his clothes torn and ragged. He groaned. His eyes slowly closed, whispering, "Save me." Just after Xiang finished speaking, a vortex suddenly appeared in the sky, unfathomable. Gu Chang'e landed on the ground, couldn't hold on anymore. The celestial maidens from the heavenly palace also saw this scene, and they exclaimed in surprise, "That's the Zifu. They really sent someone to rescue Xiang Tianjun." The battle was too intense, even the leader is a real person from the highest third heaven. A group of people walked out from the spinning place, the underworld. The leader spoke, "The younger generation is truly bold beyond measure." Su Chang'e remained calm and faced them. What does the underworld want now? The person was Lu Ming, and he asked, "What do you mean? You used such vicious methods and severely wounded the heir of the underworld." Lu Ming squinted, looking at Su Chang'e with malice, gritting his teeth as he said, "What punishment should you bear?" Su Chang'e sneered after hearing Lu Ming's words and said disdainfully, "Ridiculous. It's an undeniable fact that the Lord of Death and the heir of the Devil's power have conspired together. If we, the righteous, do not eliminate them, how can we face those fellow cultivators who were harmed in the past?" Lu Ming, like a cat whose tail had been stepped on, roared, "Then his life or death is not for you to decide. The underworld will hunt him down, and after the truth is clear, we will seek justice for the world." As soon as Lu Ming finished speaking, his people immediately responded, "That's right." Su Chang'e calmly retorted, "Oh, senior, you speak on behalf of the underworld. But I heard there's a lot of internal disagreement about this matter, and the opinions aren't unified." The underworld's people gritted their teeth in anger. "You." Lu Ming pointed at Su Chang'e and angrily criticized, "You have a slick mouth and talk nonsense. Don't think that because you're from the Chongqing Su family, no one can control you." Lu Ming exerted force beneath his feet, his tone warning, "Others may fear the Su family, but you." At that moment, invisible force appeared, like a protective shield, attempting to pin Su Chang'e in place. Lu Ming continued, "But we, the underworld, are not afraid." Su Chang'e understood their intent and said, "Looks like the underworld intends to cover this up." Not only Su Chang'e, but the empresses and princesses also felt this force. They whispered, "The pressure of the supreme realm is indeed terrifying. This time, Brother Su might be in trouble." Su Chang'e broke into a cold sweat. Although his body was restricted by Lu Ming's force, he still extended his hand to use his own power, forming a sword, and firmly said, "Today, no one will take away the Lord of Death." Lu Ming couldn't believe it and shouted, "Su Chang'e, you dare!" Su Chang'e's force blade rushed towards the Lord of Death but was blocked by Lu Ming. Lu Ming almost went mad, his eyes turning white, his face twisted like a ghost as he lunged at Su Chang'e, "If you seek death, then the Su family can't blame me." Just as Lu Ming's deadly strike was about to reach Su Chang'e loudly called, "Aunt Qing." A thunderous explosion rang out, and the pressure of the force extended on the ground, causing considerable damage. King Lugua said, "Quick, get out of the way, the impact is too great." The empresses stared blankly at the scene. Everyone hurriedly flew higher, seeing the remnants of the force in the air, and they confusedly asked each other, "Such a strong attack, how is young Master Su?" Lu Ming froze. The person standing before him was not Su Chang'e but Aunt Qing. She was using her own power to break the attack in his hands. Lu Ming was shocked. "You are..." Su Chang'e stood behind, clasping his hands in salute to Aunt Qing, thank you for stepping in, Aunt Qing. Aunt Qing waved her hand, releasing a green force, and coldly responded, Feeling the immense force about to strike, Lu Ming, terrified, quickly shouted, no. We should talk. Before he could finish, Aunt Qing's force turned into a vortex, sending him back into the dust, vanishing with the wind. The Lord of Death weakly looked up from afar, his gaze complicated. The underworld's people were pale, emotionally broken, and shouted, the Uncle Master has perished. He was a supreme realm expert. The Lord of Death's condition worsened. His body trembled as he struggled to lift his head. With a slap, he fell, completely drained, coughing up blood. The empresses were also stunned, discussing fervently, this is the Su family. They instantly erased a supreme position. This person must have emperor-level cultivation. Ziyan stood behind the immortal emperor princess, stunned, murmuring the word Shirshu, master uncle. On the ground, Chang'e joined his hands to bid farewell to Qing Di, whose elegance was no less than in the past. Thank you. For protecting the Tao, Chang'e. Safe travels, Qing Di said, before disappearing like shattered mirror pieces healing. Gu Chang'e looked at this unique departure method and couldn't help but twitch his lips, clicking his tongue. The Purple Mansion people, having lost Lu Ming, were like headless flies, panicking and shouting to each other, quick, return to the Purple Mansion and report, open the teleportation channel to leave now. Before they could finish speaking, 3 channels opened above their heads, and they grew even more frantic. Not good. Those are the immortal armor guards of the Gu family. Gu Chang'e must have already planned ahead, we've fallen into a trap. Gu Chang'e teleported behind the Purple Mansion people, want to leave? Didn't you just want to make a move on me? Upon seeing Gu Chang'e, they broke into a cold sweat and stammered, Long Song, misunderstanding. It was Shirshu who sent us, we don't know the specifics. Why yes, we aren't really familiar with Xiang. Gu Chang'e raised his hand, oh. Then let me tell you, the Purple Mansion colluded with the heir of the demonic art, killed their peers, and there's no need for their existence. But since you recognize the situation, your death sentence can be avoided, but your punishment cannot. Gu Chang'e ordered, take them all. The immortal armor guards of the Gu family obeyed the order and captured the Purple Mansion people. The immortal Emperor Princess beside asked Lu Guan Wang, isn't he really unconcerned about forcibly capturing them? Lu Guan Wang replied, what does he need to care about? He killed even the supreme of the Purple Mansion with a word. It seems Gu Chang'e has already planned everything, he's really going to destroy the Purple Mansion. After the situation settled, Gu Chang'e flew to sit beside Gu Xianer, who was crouching on the ground. Gu Xianer sat with her knees hugged, looking melancholic. Gu Chang'e said, what are you still dawdling for? Let's go, it's all over. Xiang has been captured, and will soon find Qin Xiaoyi's whereabouts. Gu Xianer responded softly, At this moment, Gu Chang'e also noticed something strange in her attitude. I traveled so far to save you, and this is the attitude you have. Gu Xianer still kept her head lowered, I didn't want to doubt you. I thought you were just here to save me, but it seems you've already arranged everything, even making Qin Di take action. She is an emperor-level expert of the Gu family. Gu Chang'e walked in front of Gu Xianer, oh. Are you wondering if what Xiang Tianjun said is true? Gu Xianer remained silent. Gu Chang'e kneeled on one knee, looked at Gu Xianer, and slowly said, am I really the heir of the demonic art? Gu Xianer was shocked, looking up at Gu Chang'e in surprise, asking, you, how do you know? Gu Chang'e replied indifferently. Of course, I know. Because when Xiang Tianjun said those words to you, I was here, and I heard everything. He stood up, seemingly acknowledging everything, and continued, even if he says I'm the heir of the demonic art, that you were their junior in your past life, and the reincarnation water said everything to you, will you believe it? Gu Xianer quickly explained, don't overthink it, I was just speaking nonsense. Gu Chang'e, however, said, the reason I said these things is to make you understand one thing. Gu. Sienna lowered her head, saying, I understand. Actually, you don't need to explain. I believe you. He denied her words. No, everything they said is true. So from now on, stay away from me. Who knows, one day, if you anger me, I might throw you into the dungeon, drink your blood, strip your bones, and devour your essence, to let you understand the consequences of trusting me. Gu Sienna wasn't afraid of the threat. Instead, she said sadly, with your current strength, if you really wanted to do that, why go through all this trouble? Just now, when you saw me injured by Xiang Tianjun, you couldn't help but show yourself, right? Gu Chang'e revealed a smile as if he controlled everything, then said, I originally thought that with all the heavenly materials and treasures you've cultivated with, you would be able to withstand a few moves. Unfortunately, you really disappointed me. She got angry and said, enough. Gu Chang'e, did you enjoy watching me just now? Gu Chang'e immediately denied, I didn't. Gu Sienna angrily responded, you're just someone who's hard on the outside but soft on the inside. A furious shout echoed from the Purple Mansion, Elder, your actions have pushed the entire Purple Mansion into a fire pit, burying it in the abyss. Ziyan continuously reprimanded the Purple Mansion Elder in the hall. Xiang colluded with the heir of the demonic art, and the whole world knows. Why send Shishu to save him, endangering his life? Today, the Academy is recalling all disciples because the Changxinggu family, the Immortal Emperor Mountain, the Endless Fire Domain, and many other forces have been slaughtered by the demonic art heir. They are about to join forces to exterminate the Purple Mansion. Is this the result you want? The old man reminded, Ziyan, mind your tone. Don't forget, your father gained power thanks to who? Also, what do you understand? Everything I've done for the Purple Mansion. Xiang was the future of the Purple Mansion, we cannot lose him. The Purple Mansion Elder continued, I visited a master and divined the heavens. If he meets with misfortune, the Purple Mansion will be destroyed within 100 years. So don't casually question my intentions. She responded with confusion, what? The future 100 years from now? Right now, the various sects have united to attack the Purple Mansion. Whether we can last a year is uncertain. The old man slapped the arm of his chair, angrily shouting, preposterous. Looks like you didn't learn much at the True Immortal Academy, but learned to disrespect your elders. The Purple Mansion Elder continued, your father has temporarily stepped down. Now the Purple Mansion is under my command. If you understand, leave. Ziyan immediately spoke up, wait. I still have one question. Elder, Ziyan just wants to ask, if you insist on saving Xiang, how will you deal with the Changxinggu family? The old man stood up and answered, the Immortal Gu family has stood for a long time, undoubtedly very mysterious, with an impressive foundation. However, since the existence of the Purple Mansion, we have endured countless hardships and remain immortal. How can we be considered a trivial small sect? Gu Chang'e's slander, the Immortal Gu family must know, yet they still condone him. How can this be said to be our Purple Mansion covering up mistakes? The Grand Elder of the Purple Mansion showed a trace of fierceness on his face and continued, moreover, the supreme bloodline of our Purple Mansion, how could it flow in vain? She looked at the old man using his power to teleport away and angrily scolded, bastard. Grand Elder, you are being stubborn and complacent. A mysterious place appeared, resembling a gate, and 3 purple energies were converging within. The Grand Elder of the Purple Mansion looked at the person in front of him and pleaded, Senior, today the Purple Mansion is in great danger. I humbly ask you to divine once more. Is there a way to break this? The old man sighed and said, I can no longer perform a complete divination, but the Grand Elder of the Purple Mansion still clasped his hands and urgently begged, Senior, you helped our founder establish the Purple Mansion in the past, and later took note of Xiang's rise. Now, I am powerless and unable to protect the future of the Purple Mansion. I humbly request that you divine once more for the purple mansion. The person sighed again, then turned around, his gaze blank, his appearance withered and lifeless, asking, "Speak, what do you wish to divine this time?" The Grand Elder of the Purple Mansion respectfully answered, "Against the immortal Gu family, what chance does our Purple Mansion have?" The old man calculated with his fingers while murmuring, "The immortal Gu family, how?" Seeing him coughing non-stop, the Grand Elder anxiously asked, "Senior?" The other hesitated, "It's 10, upon hearing the first two words, the Grand Elder excitedly said, "A tenfold chance." The old man turned his head, blood dripping from the corner of his mouth, and slowly said, 10 deaths, no life. Someone stood on a cliff, with purple light rushing towards him. Gu Changa clasped his hands in salute and respectfully said, "It's been many years. Qing Di is still as graceful as ever. Now even the supreme experts can be instantly erased. I truly admire you." Qing Di coldly responded, "No need for flattery. How many years has it been? Have you stopped calling me?" She continued, "I thought you had forgotten I was the protector." He scratched his head and awkwardly denied, "How could that be? Changa would never dare." "What does Qing Di mean by this? Are you blaming me?" Qing Di turned away and coldly responded, "You seem a bit different from before." Gu Changa asked in confusion, "What part of me does Qing Di think is unlike before?" She answered, "You now have more humanity." He retorted, "Is Qing Di saying that I wasn't human before?" Qing Di denied, "No, the you of the past, were never human." Gu Changa helplessly replied, "Qing Di still loves to joke." She said, "If your methods weren't still cruel, I'd almost think you were possessed." He said solemnly, "Seems like you're dissatisfied with the current me." She denied again, "No, you're fine now, better than before." Qing Di's words made Gu Changa fall into thought, "I have humanity. No, I need to leave a deeper impression." Elsewhere, a piercing scream echoed. Ziyang roared in anger, "Gu Changa, you will not have a good death." He calmly replied, "Is this the future that Xiener foresaw?" "Quite accurate. Only, the person imprisoned in the bone-picking dungeon has changed to you." He pleaded, "Give me a quick end." Gu Changa coldly refused, "That won't do. I want the Purple Mansion to be deceived into thinking they can still save you, then I'll use them." This made Ziyang curse, you, heartless thing." Gu Changa slowly extended his hand towards his body and softly said, "I also want to refine a secret treasure to help me predict the future, like you. So, after taking your bones." He touched the heavenly eye and continued, "I want to borrow your heavenly eye for a moment." Gu Changa's gaze changed, exuding an invisible murderous intent, and said, "And your senior brother Chen Wuyen, his fate has already been decided. If you want to blame anyone, blame yourself. You shouldn't have focused on Xiener in the first place." Ziyang angrily shouted, "Gu Changa, you beast." Outside, Gu Xiener ran over and asked, "I think I heard Lord Ziyang screaming in agony just now." He comforted her, "It's nothing. I just used a little force when asking about Qin Xiaoyi's whereabouts." She continued to ask, "Do you have any clues?" Gu Changa replied, "Don't worry, I already have them." He then took out a bottle containing reincarnation lake water and said, "By the way, this is the reincarnation water Chen Wuyen mentioned back then. I checked it, and there's nothing wrong, right?" She took the bottle and asked curiously, "Reincarnation water, can it help restore past life memories?" Gu Changa shrugged and answered, "Maybe it can, maybe not, I can't be sure about that." Gu Xiener turned her head and asked, "So, do you want me to drink it?" He replied, "I respect you. Anyway, you won't be able to defeat me even if you drink it." Gu Changa glanced deeply and said, "Some things need to be decided by you yourself, after all, it's your life." After hearing this, she poured out the water from the bottle and smiled, "I think the current life is great, and I don't care whether what they say is true or false." He saw the water being poured out and scolded, "Heavens, how can you waste so much? You can't just return it to me if you're not going to drink it. What's wrong with you?" Gu Xiener retorted, "Gu Changa, are you dumb? I'm so loyal, and you're here upset about that reincarnation water. Gu Changa responded, do you think it's something you can find in the market? The reincarnation water is extremely precious. Are you going to pay for it? She immediately ran away, no money, you're heartless, I won't talk to you anymore. He smiled and watched Gu Xiana run off. Gu Changa tightly held the bottle and thought, if it weren't for the beautiful memories, why let them happen again? Shall we? Shall we? The calls echoed, aiming to wake the unconscious girl. She was surrounded by thick locks. The girl opened her eyes heavily. In her daze, she saw two figures, one constantly crashing into the barrier, and the other standing to the side watching. Brother, young Master Changa. Xiaoyi, sister, wake up. Young Master Changa has already subdued Lord Xiang, we're here to save you. It's brother's voice, Qing Feng. Xiaoyi quickly sat up and asked suspiciously, was it Lord Xiang who captured me? Qing Feng looked at him worriedly and asked, young Master Changa, do you have any way to this restriction? He replied, I don't know exactly what method Xiang used to set such a strong restriction, but don't worry. Today, even if I have to use all my strength, I will break it and save your sister. Qing Feng's expression was filled with gratitude, with tears in his eyes. Xiaoyi inside was also deeply moved, young Master Changa. Qing Feng immediately knelt down and deeply bowed, the kindness of young Master Changa, we, brother and sister, will remember it for our whole lives. Please accept my bow. He coldly looked at him, his gaze elsewhere, and the people around seemed to have a good impression of him. A system prompt appeared, Qing Feng and Qing Xiaoyi were deeply moved. He said in surprise, young man, what are you doing? I can understand your concern and love for your sister. He ordered, get up quickly. In a certain place, a group of people were moving in a line and suddenly discovered something. The young man wore a cloak and slightly turned his head to look back. Then he quickly turned in one direction, with two girls behind him watching. Ruanmi quickly followed his turning direction. She was surprised because he had already disappeared. She paused slightly and thought, was I discovered? Sure enough, with my cultivation, trying to track a semi-supreme existence is too difficult. In another place, Chen Wuyan stepped out of the spatial ring. He sat down and murmured, there are spies of Gu Changa everywhere, looks like I need to be more careful. He thought, now, I should go to the reincarnation lake. On Tianhuang Mountain, 5 people were bowing in front of a giant volcanic pillar. The ancestor of Tianhuang Mountain appeared, with a fierce expression, how dare they kill my disciple of Tianhuang Mountain in my own mansion? Do they think that I've died off completely? He shouted, let's go together and destroy the purple mansion. The people below were sweating profusely, still bowing, yes, we obey the ancestor's command. Elsewhere, a figure was walking forward, the purple mansion dares to challenge the dignity of my family's ancestor, they are seeking death. The people below angrily said, humph, a bunch of rabble, master, it's finally your turn to restore the reputation of our family. Gu Lin Tian stepped down step by step, everyone, don't worry, many forces have already clashed with the purple mansion. Tianhuang Mountain, the ancient Yi clan, and the endless fire domain have all sent people. We are just here to support. Someone in the group asked, Master, who do you think we should send for this war? The surrounding people showed sinister smiles, and the red-haired girl proudly said, that's right. This is the key, after all, it's been a long time since everyone has exercised their muscles. A voice came from behind, has the purple mansion forgotten that their ancestor once knelt at the gate of our mountain to ask for help? The person instantly disappeared and quickly reappeared in front of everyone, do they think I'm dead? The crowd was shocked and quickly turned to bow, greetings, ancestor. He coldly responded, Gu Lin Tian frowned and thought, humph. The Gu family has too many ancestors, who is this one? Seeing Gu Lin Tian bow, Gu Lang asked, kid, are you the current master of the Gu family? Your strength is not bad. Gu Lin Tian quickly replied, the younger generation, Gu Lin Tian, thanks for the ancestors' praise. Gu Lang walked barefoot up every step, you don't need to be modest, the previous master of the Gu family at this age was far from the Tao. He reached the top, sat on the throne, and spoke down, I am Gu Lang. I already know about the Purple Mansion. The karmic obstacles of those who are doomed cannot be saved. You may act, no need to worry. The people below were shocked to recognize him and hurriedly bowed. So it is the 18th ancestor, who single-handedly shattered many of Tianhuang Mountain's ancestors' hearts in a few eras. Another person spoke, greetings, 18th ancestor. Gu Lang's expression became serious, 18th ancestor, that's an old title. I neglected my cultivation and became lazy for millions of years. Now, I probably can't even rank second. Besides, it seems the current heir of the Gu family is that your son? He continued, I heard that kid has been doing a lot of big things recently, decisive in his actions, ruthless, his style is like this. Gu Lin Tian closed his eyes, sweat pouring from his forehead, his brows furrowed in worry. I highly admire him. Suddenly, Gu Lang laughed loudly. This left Gu Lin Tian stunned, his eyes wide, not understanding what was happening. Gu Lin Tian looked up, ancestor, currently Changgu is in the Xuanwu ancient kingdom. I will immediately send a message for him to return to the family. Gu Lang responded, no need, it's rare for me to come out, let's go see some old friends first. We will meet this heir sooner or later. As soon as he finished speaking, countless rays of light gathered around him, and Gu Lang soared into the sky with the light. Everyone turned around and heard someone say, the 18th ancestor always does whatever he wants, but based on his personality, he should stop by the Purple Mansion, right? Another person answered, that's right. If the Purple Mansion's internal affairs aren't deep enough, they probably won't last until we arrive. The crowd quickly surrounded Gu Lin Tian and said, hurry up. The Gu family can't let our ancestor take the lead. If this gets out, others will laugh at us. Gu Lin Tian spoke, to destroy the Purple Mansion, can we send 3 emperors and 8 supreme beings? One person quickly interjected, oh no, master. That's not enough, we need 5 emperors and 10 supreme beings, otherwise, others will think we don't have enough power. Another person responded, makes sense. In the Xuanwu ancient kingdom, Changgu was writing something. He smiled wickedly, all right. How does this look? Su Qingqing quickly grabbed the paper, looking at it in surprise and exclaiming. It swallows mountains and rivers, so powerful, your handwriting is truly beautiful. The paper read the character, kill. Changgu snorted angrily, you flatterer. Just as the two were laughing, Lu Wan walked over and spoke, Master Gu. May I ask why you summoned Wana here? He responded, I remember, I said that as long as Su Hao doesn't provoke me, I can't be bothered with him. After all, for me, killing him is easier than destroying the Purple Mansion. He squinted his eyes, his tone somewhat displeased, but during this period, he seems to have been somewhat restless. Tang Wan was so scared that she quickly kneeled down, I have already advised Brother Su Hao. She looked up at him and said, Master, could you give me some time? Qinggu turned his head, oh, did you really advise him? Su Qing hugged the paper to his chest, looking at her, thinking, she seems to be Brother Su Hao's girlfriend. Qinggu walked in front of the kneeling Tang Wan and said, but I feel that Su Hao is determined to put me to death. She begged, he doesn't know the heights of heaven or the depths of the earth. Master, please don't hold a grudge against him, please be generous. Tang Wan trembled all over. He placed his hand on her head, arrogantly looking down at her, forget it, you don't need to care about Su Hao anymore. I have other tasks for you. She answered in fear, Master, please command. She thought to herself, if he can control the Purple Mansion, what is my Tang family worth? While stroking her head, he smiled, during this time, someone called Chen Wui will come to find you. You must follow my instructions when he comes. She asked again, Chen Wui. His eyes suddenly turned purple, and the third eye on his forehead appeared, that's right, he is your Tao partner from your past life. He wants to continue your past connection. She widened her eyes, seemingly not daring to believe it. She stammered, Dao partner, from the past life. Tang Wan walked out of the city gate, closing the door and standing for a while. Somewhere, Bai Yang closed his eyes and stroked his beard, thinking. Su Qing and Chenggu stood watching the door where she had just left. He spoke, Su Qing, how has the task I assigned been progressing? She replied, replying to young master, I have followed your instructions. I have sent the people from the Purple Mansion, including those from the Purple Sun Divine Kingdom, to the Zhu Tu Ancient Kingdom. She turned around and looked at him, young master, Su Qing doesn't understand. Why, for no reason, do you want to move them to another place? He smiled and replied, although the Purple Mansion is being attacked by various sects, the attention given to the Purple Sun will still make them distracted and send reinforcements. I think the Zhu Tu Ancient Kingdom is a good battlefield. Her expression became thoughtful as she thought, isn't this courting disaster? I and senior brother Su Hao are also of the same sect with feelings. Should I tell him about this in advance? She frowned, worried, what if the young master finds out? Seemingly knowing what she was thinking, he glanced at her smugly, sometimes a person's fate is in her thoughts. In a certain place, Su Hao quickly walked towards Bai Yang and asked, Uncle Master, what's going on? Bai Yang closed his eyes with a disappointed look, she indeed came out of Chengji's courtyard, and Chenggu is protected by an Emperor Realm expert. She must be the one who killed the Purple Mansion's Supreme Realm person. So, I didn't dare approach. Su Hao showed disappointment and a hint of anger, I knew it. He placed his hand on Bai Yang's shoulder and comforted, Hao, don't worry. I saw Tang Wan visit Chenggu, and it was only for a brief time, just a tea's worth. They shouldn't have anything happen. Bai Yang quickly responded, I am relieved about this. If Wana had other intentions, she would have left when I was in the Supreme Cave Heaven for cultivation. Why wait until now? Just as they were talking, a large eagle descended from the sky, carrying a note. The large eagle landed on Su Hao's shoulder. If she really likes a hypocrite like Chenggu, I don't believe it, he said as he took the note from the eagle's leg. Su Hao furrowed his brows, his face turning anxious, and shouted, What? The Purple Sun Heavenly Lord and the disciples of the Purple Mansion have been moved to the Zhu Tu Ancient Kingdom? Bai Yang asked in disbelief, Are you sure? Is Chenggu planning to turn the Zhu Tu Ancient Kingdom into a battlefield? Su Hao's face turned angry as he tightly gripped the note, This is a message from my father, it must be true. How could Chenggu be so vicious? What grudge do I have with him? Why involve the Zhu Tu Ancient Kingdom? After completing the task, the large eagle flew away. This is useless. Let's hurry back. Chenggu should already be heading to the Zhu Tu Ancient Kingdom. At the reincarnation lake, everything was calm, with the setting sun's rays on the sky and a clear and peaceful water surface. In this tranquil space, a loud voice suddenly shouted, You want me to help the Purple Mansion? What a joke. Are you out of your mind? In front of a chain-wrapped cave entrance, Chen Wui shouted inside, Senior, last time you helped me with the water lake matter, I haven't repaid you with my 9 heavens items yet. The person inside responded to Wuya in a sharp tone, More is not possible. That's the Chongqinggu family. Who knows how many old monsters of theirs are still alive? I heard that each of them is extremely petty, and whoever offends them will inevitably face a bad end. He gritted his teeth and tried to negotiate, then add a part of the 9 heavens immortal scriptures. I don't need you to confront the Chongqinggu family or help the Purple Mansion. Senior, your cultivation is boundless. And with your reversal technique, you just need to secretly save my junior brother. How does that sound? The person inside the barrier was silent for a moment before speaking, You actually have so many good things on you. Suddenly, a great force emanated from the group, with red light constantly bursting out like flames. The man laughed, You dare say that? Aren't you afraid that I'll just take your things by force? He still stood in place and responded, Senior, do you think I'm a fool? The red light kept flying toward Wuya. He said seriously, if I dare to mention it, of course, it's to make sure no one else can take it, and I trust Senior's character. The red light slowly retracted, flying into the air. There was no longer any barrier or chains at the entrance. The person's voice came through. All right, if that's the case, I'll go. But I'll say this first, if the Gu family finds out, I will immediately sever ties with you. Chen Wuya clenched his fists tightly. Xiaoyang, hold on, I will do everything I can to save you. In the Chu kingdom, someone looked up at the sky in fear. Your Majesty, this is. The ruler looked at the sky in panic and blurted out, the heavenly calamity, the heavenly calamity. A guard quickly came to report, Your Majesty, White Sun and the third prince have returned. At this moment, Chu Hao spoke, Father. How, Lord Sun, you've finally returned. His voice carried a hint of joy. He pointed at the sky, his tone urgent, look, that's the ancient immortal warship from the continent. Gu Chang'e is escorting people from the Purple Mansion, stopping at our border, with ill intentions. If he insists on turning this place into a battlefield, then our Chu kingdom. He hesitated for a moment, will be destroyed. The sky was filled with sunlight, but hundreds of warships were moving. Chu Hao's face was angry and dripping with sweat as he looked up at the sky, while White Sun seemed more composed. At that moment, a guard came running to report, Your Highness, Miss Lu Wan requests to see you. Upon hearing her name, he immediately turned and asked, Wanner. White Sun's expression grew a little displeased as he sighed and muttered, women only affect one's focus on cultivation. Chu Hao quickly walked to where she was waiting, Wanner, why are you here at this time? Lu Wan had a worried expression, sweat beading on her forehead, and hurriedly said, How Gu, I heard you're preparing to deal with Gu Chang'e. I think you should discuss it further, don't act impulsively. Don't mention the Chu kingdom. Even with the supreme cave heaven behind us, we can't confront Gu Chang'e. The Purple Mansion is a living example. Hearing her words, Chu Hao's face showed no expression, his tone impatient, Wanner, do you look down on the supreme cave heaven behind me? She quickly explained, How Gu, that's not what I meant. I just advise you to think twice and not do something beyond your ability, don't act emotionally. Chu Hao, enraged, his face clearly showing disappointment, interrupted her, beyond my ability. Do you think I am inferior to Gu Chang'e? She froze, what did you say? Lu Wan shouted angrily, what I mean is, you should quickly strengthen your power. She continued loudly, if Gu Chang'e comes to deal with you, you'll at least have a better chance of survival. Enough. Chu Hao shouted angrily, his face turning terrifying, his power continuously released, startling her. He frowned and said, I don't want to hear these words from you again. Do you understand? Chu Hao turned to leave, leaving a cracked ground due to the shockwave from his energy, ignoring her, you've changed. He said softly, but I know you mean well, Wanner. He paused for a moment. He slightly turned his head to look at her, this time, can you not stop me? If I really follow what you said, the Chu kingdom will be destroyed. She stood there, tears flowing from her eyes. Countless warships were moving in the sky. From within a ship, the voices of many people echoed, Greetings, Master. Greetings, Master. A group of people knelt and bowed, facing Chang'e, no need for formalities. He walked over and sat in the chair, waiting for her. Yan Yu stood up and reported, Master, Yan Yu would never forget your command. I have found over 100 people with special origins. She continued, for this expedition, I've brought them all. Now, we're just waiting for your inspection. Chang Ji's face showed pride, very good. Come here. Yes. She walked closer and knelt. He propped himself on his hands, slightly leaning forward, looking at her, you did not disappoint me. From today onward, Yan Yu will lead the Black Sky Eagle clan. He looked at the elder and asked, do you have any objections? The elder quickly responded, I will obey the master's orders. He thought irritably, how could I dare have objections? Isn't this a pointless question? Yan Yu suddenly remembered something and said, "By the way, Master, not long ago, I caught a group of mysterious people outside the ancient forbidden immortal zone." He glanced at her and asked, "Mysterious people?" She continued. "They were wearing strange clothes, and what's strange is they had no cultivation and weak physiques." She continued, "This is their weapon, it doesn't seem very powerful." He looked surprised and widened his eyes. She raised her hands, holding a gun. He seemed very interested and asked, "Do you know how they came here?" Yan Yu answered, "I don't know. I just happened to hear about some astonishing movements from the forbidden area, and they couldn't explain themselves. So, I used soul-searching techniques, but their souls were too weak and shattered at the slightest touch." He smiled wickedly, deep in thought. Prince Qin can possess souls, but are these people body possessors? Or are they from a lower world focused on technology? Could they be related to my own time traveling? In the dungeon, a group of people was locked inside. They looked dejected, some leaning against the wall, others hugging their knees and lowering their heads. Someone said, "There were over 20 of us, now only 8 left. What kind of place is this?" Niu Qian, sitting in the center of the room, asked Jiang Chen, "Ah Chen, do you think we've time traveled? We were just doing normal archaeology, then suddenly encountered strange white light and a bronze boat." Jiang Chen raised his hand to look and replied, "I suppose so." The room was filled with soft weeping sounds. "Dad. Mom," one man knelt with his hands clasped together, praying, "Heaven, please send me back. I promise I won't secretly photograph girls under their skirts anymore." Nyotian crouched down excitedly and said, "The people who caught us must be the qi refiners recorded in the ancient texts. Right? They can all fly, move mountains, and fill seas, they're amazing." Jiang Chen remained silent, his face darkened. Nyotian looked up and said, "If we manage to return and expose what happened here, wouldn't we become famous?" The more he thought about it, the more excited he got. "We could make so much money and buy mansions and luxury cars." He continued, "And the women here, each one looks like a fairy. Ultimate beauties, with chests on the attack and hips on defense." Jiang Chen frowned, deep in thought. Bronze boat, mysterious white light. Qi refiners. Is this world like one from a fantasy novel? Nyotian didn't pay attention to Jiang Chen, still talking non-stop. "Internet-famous beauties can't compare to them, TSK. They're still a bit lacking." A girl wearing a blue hat angrily shouted, "Nyotian, are you crazy? It's this time and you're still making jokes about female students." Xiao Ruoyin, who was hugging her knees, glanced at him but stayed silent. Jiang Chen stood up and said, "The priority now is to figure out the rules of this world." His face darkened as he clenched his fists tightly. "Those qi refiners are not good people. To them, everything is solved with their fists." In a magnificent and grand city, inside a mansion, someone shouted angrily, "How pathetic. I underestimated how terrified the noble families and sects are of Gu Chang'e. They'd rather run away than join forces with us to fight him." Chu Hao angrily cursed, "What a bunch of useless fools. The ancient country was supporting them, and now look, they've all gone to the dogs." The ruler of the country said worriedly, "Hao, you must find a way to help the Zhuke ancient kingdom through this crisis." The ruler of the country, looking troubled, continued, "Yang Zun, this time we may really have to rely on the Taishang Dongtian. Now that the Purple Mansion has become the target of everyone, and we've fallen out with the major Taoist sects." The intense battle scenes resurfaced. The ruler of the country, weary, held his forehead and sighed. "Once Changxing enters the battlefield, the Purple Mansion won't last long. They have no way out and will definitely send people to rescue the Purple Sun Heavenly Lord from Gu Chang'e's hands to protect their inheritance. And the person escorting the Purple Sun Heavenly Lord hasn't left yet, clearly wanting to take advantage of the chaos and strike us." Chu Hao clenched his fists, veins bulging. "This is too much." Chu Hao frowned angrily, "If he won't leave us alone, then I can only. Bai Yang sighed inwardly, "For a woman, he has truly lost his way. The scene switches to a dark room, and Niu Tian asks, "Ah Shen, how did the bronze small boat that brought us here appear?" Jiang Shen replies, "The light was too dazzling at that time, so I only vaguely remember some fragments. By the time I came to, we had already arrived in this world." Niu Tian scratches his head and sighs, "Ah, I wish we knew where that boat came from. It brought us here, so it can surely take us back." Jiang Shen agrees, "That's right." He rubs his stomach and silently thinks, "Bronze, small boat." The group moves forward, lighting the surroundings with lanterns. Jiang Shen silently recalls that at that time, we were exploring underground. And the people were discussing, "Is that an altar? These beast bones are really big, I wonder what they looked like when they were alive." The group stops in front of a door, and he thinks to himself, "It's hard to believe we finally found the ruins. It seems to match the description in the rumors." A brilliant light bursts from the huge circular ring on the door, and he recalls, "At the time, I didn't know who triggered the altar mechanism." Suddenly, a dazzling light appeared, and then everyone passed out. He continues to recall, "Then the bronze small boat appeared from my body." Jiang Shen ponders, "Why would such a thing be inside my body?" Niu Tian says, "Wang Ning, don't cry, it's okay. Big brother Niu is here." But she replies unhappily, "Niu Tian, are you crazy? Your narcissism is beyond saving at this point." Jiang Shen looks back and silently remembers, "Right, Ruoyin, everyone came to this archaeological expedition because of Ruoyin's invitation. She must know something." He steps forward and calls out, "Ruoyin." She looks up at him in confusion, and Jiang Shen directly asks, "Tell me honestly, where exactly did that boat take us? How much do you really know about this world?" Xiao Ruoyin sweats nervously on her forehead, hesitating for a moment before answering, "Actually, this is the world from my dreams." Jiang Shen is shocked, "What? The world from your dreams? What do you mean?" At the same time, he thinks to himself, as expected, she's hiding something. Suddenly, Niu Tian looks outside and exclaims, "Not good, someone's coming." The two immediately turn to look. Everyone gets tense as the sounds from outside grow louder. He Yanyu and Gu Chang'e appear. She speaks, "Master, it's them." Their words are always difficult to understand, things like archaeology, time travel, and reporting. Yanyu doesn't understand. Gu Chang'e looks at Jiang Shen and Xiao Ruoyin, silently evaluating, these two definitely seem like the main characters. This girl. He then looks at Niu Tian and the others, silently thinking, this guy, he's interesting. Gu Chang'e sweeps his gaze over the rest of the group and thinks, supporting characters, not worth paying attention to. He chuckles lightly and says, "It's probably their hometown dialect, don't overthink it." At the same time, he secretly thinks, these people's actions and clothing style do seem a bit like they are from the same hometown. He suddenly remembers a gun, but the pistol powered by spirit stones doesn't seem like an earth-made product. He Yanyu asks, "Master, how should we handle these people? Should we kill them all?" The people in the prison are immediately shocked. What did she just say? Kill us? Why? On what grounds? Gu Chang'e points at Xiao Ruoyin, "Take her out." Jiang Shen immediately blocks her, What do you want to do?" At the same time, he thinks to himself, this is bad. This woman kills without hesitation. If Ruoyin knows the secret of this world, I absolutely can't let her get hurt. He Yanyu sees this and asks, "Master, do we kill this one?" Gu Chang'e, feeling pleased, thinks, with my current strong fortune, even if I kill these children of fate, the backlash wouldn't be a threat. But those who need to be eliminated must still be dealt with. Gu Chang'e's expression turns cold. Do you want to be the hero saving the beauty? He silently evaluates, this is exactly what the children of fate love to do. Niu Tian hurriedly stepped forward, "Please wait a moment, big brother, don't be mad at my brother, he's not very bright." Big brother. Don't hold it against him. He Ruanyu secretly wondered, big brother. Jiang Chen shouted angrily, "Niu Tian, don't let Ruoyin go." Niu Tian turned around, his face filled with fear. Ah Chen, don't go crazy. This isn't street fighting. They can crush us with just one finger. And they haven't said anything about harming the campus beauty. Calm down. Jiang Chen angrily said, have you forgotten how she killed the teacher when she first arrived? Jiang Chen continued, ask around, if Ruoyin goes with them, what good outcome will she have? She froze, silently thinking, Jiang Chen. Hey Ruan, you threatened, now, either you come out yourself, or I'll kill them all and drag you out. The master won't hold it against you, but I won't show mercy. Someone advised, yes, yes. Ruoyin, I don't think this young master is a bad person, it should be fine if you go with him. Wang Ning agreed, yes, I think this young master has great demeanor. Ruoyin, why don't you give it a try? The girl next to her awkwardly smiled. Xiao Ruoyin looked at them, thinking for a moment, then suddenly said, Jiang Chen, I hope you can live well. After saying that, Xiao Ruoyin quickly walked ahead. Jiang Chen froze, and Niu Tian was also startled. Xiao. Jiang Chen shouted loudly, Ruoyin, don't go. Niu Tian cursed, damn. Jiang Chen anxiously rushed forward, despicable person, don't touch her. Niu Tian opened his mouth wide, Mom. Hey Ruan Yu angrily extended his hand and gathered a black energy, you dare to be so reckless, pest. A red-black light column suddenly slammed into Jiang Chen, throwing him hard against the wall, causing unbearable pain. Niu Tian screamed in terror, Ah Chen. Everyone was shocked by the scene before them, no, Jiang Chen. He collapsed on the ground, coughing violently. Suddenly, Wang Ning and the two people beside her were grasped by a force around their necks, choking tightly. Everyone in the prison collapsed to the ground. Gu Chang'e coldly said, although I'm not a bad person, my patience is limited. Everyone struggled to speak. What's going on? I can't breathe, my head is about to explode. He stood there, imposing, so, it's better to obey. Gu Chang'e smiled secretly in satisfaction. At first, I thought it was someone with a fate template named Yi. This physique doesn't seem too impressive, but this girl is a bit different. He said, let's go. Jiang Chen lay on the ground, still barely shouting, Ruoyin. Xiao Ruoyin walked away and turned back to call, Jiang Chen. He clenched his fists in secret, damn it, I must become stronger. Gu Chang'e sat in a chair and asked, what's your name? Where are you from? Xiao Ruoyin answered, young master, my name is Xiao Ruoyin, and I'm from Tianlan Star. He was surprised and said, oh. Tianlan Star. Tell me about your world. Xiao Ruoyin asked in surprise, young master is interested in our world. Then she proudly began to explain, our world is completely different from here. We can't fly or teleport, and our lifespan is very short, not exceeding 100 years. There, we also have something called the Internet, where people from all over the planet can communicate and discuss easily. Gu Chang'e calmly said, oh, sounds interesting. She continued, yes, people can play games, contact friends, and watch comics. Hey Ruan Yu secretly wondered, playing games, watching comics. What's that? As expected of the master, though I don't understand, his face shows no surprise. Gu Chang'e conjured a gun, this is your weapon, right? Is this the standard weapon of the Tianlan Star people? Xiao Ruoyin was sweating profusely, nervously answering, this is a spiritual energy pistol, and it's very rare in our world. Because its bullets contain spiritual energy from spirit stones, and the spiritual energy in our world is extremely thin. Gu Chang'e aimed the gun forward and asked, this is how it's used, right? She was so scared by his actions that her whole body trembled, why young master? He forcefully pulled the trigger, the bullet grazed Xiao Ruoyin's body and shot out the door, causing a huge explosion. She hurriedly knelt down, young master, did Ruoyin say something wrong? Gu Chang'e responded indifferently. Don't worry, my aim is precise, I won't hurt you. Seems like the power isn't that great. Xiao Ruoyin said with some unease on her face, with your strength, young master, you naturally wouldn't care about such things. Gu Chang'e looked at the gun and smiled. Strength? You've never truly seen my strength. But this is interesting. If I have the chance, I would really like to visit your world. Xiao Ruoyin continued to flatter him. In Ruoyin's eyes, you are already the son of an immortal, there's no need to worry about that world. He just responded with a faint, oh, since you think I'm an immortal, why still call me young master? But seeing you so calm, it seems you've already prepared yourself mentally to survive in this world. Xiao Ruoyin thought secretly, is this an acknowledgement? She answered, young master, you may not know, but I often had strange dreams. Since I was little. In the dreams, I seemed to become an omnipotent immortal, and the world in my dreams was no different from here. Gu Chang'e lightly said, such a miraculous thing, it seems perhaps it's your past life's memory. He then said to the system, analyze her in the dream. Afterward, he spoke, alright, Yen Yu, take Miss Xiao down to bathe. She's probably very dirty after being imprisoned for so long. Hey Yen Yu immediately replied, yes, master. She took Xiao Ruoyin away, and at the same time, the system displayed a message, Xiao Ruoyin, reincarnation. Of the fate priest of the heavenly palace, fate void body. After reading it, Gu Chang'e pondered, fate void body, controls time and space, causality, everything is unimaginable, unpredictable, and indescribable. He recalled the demon's attack and thought, back then, the demon lord destroyed the world, the heavenly palace collapsed, the fate high priest used the creation immortal boat to travel back through the ages. Searching for the opportunity when the world first began, to deal with the future calamity. Gu Chang'e silently thought, it seems the memories related to the demon lord need to be gradually activated, and the role of the system for me will become smaller and smaller in the future. Suddenly, Xiao Ruoyin came back. Ruoyin still has one thing, I beg the young master to fulfill it. He asked in confusion, oh. Miss Xiao, what is it? She lowered her head and sincerely requested, my companions mean no harm, we all accidentally entered this world, I beg the young master not to make things difficult for them. Gu Chang'e responded immediately, rest assured, I'm not petty, since you, Miss Xiao, are pleading, I naturally won't make things difficult for them. She hurriedly said, thank you, young master. Then she added, also. Right now, I don't know if there's a way to return to Tianlan Star, if there's no way back, Ruoyin hopes to follow the young master in cultivation, and serve the young master in the future. Gu Chang'e asked in confusion. Oh. Serve me, isn't that seeking protection for yourself? She quickly responded, it's seeking the young master's protection, but also hoping to contribute some strength to the young master. He walked forward and said, you're quite straightforward and cute. He continued, as for cultivation, it depends on whether you have spiritual roots and aptitude, if not. He knelt in front of her and smiled, I'm afraid there's nothing I can do. Xiao Ruoyin thought, so handsome, so gentle. Then, Xiao Ruoyin stood in front of a giant stone embedded with glowing stones. Everyone present was in awe, what? Such powerful talent, no less than the top talents of major sects. She asked in confusion, did I pass? Gu Chang'e was secretly pleased, just by looking at her fortune, she's no ordinary person, how could she be weak? He replied to her, Miss Xiao, your talent is extremely powerful, if you practice diligently, you will definitely not be weak. How about I find you a master to properly train you? Xiao Ruoyin said excitedly, really? That's great. Now I can rest assured, thank you, young Master Gu. Gu Chang'e reached out and tapped her forehead, I'll teach you a cultivation method first, you must practice diligently, don't disappoint me. She was startled and thought secretly, although I don't quite understand this feeling, I can sense the profound power of this technique. Xiao Ruoyin immediately kneeled, thank you, young master. This great kindness, Ruoyin will definitely practice diligently. Absolutely loyal, and will not disappoint your nurturing. Gu Chang'e instructed, Yen Yu, take her to change clothes. He was secretly pleased and smiled faintly, the cultivation of the bridal immortal method, whether you're loyal or not is not something you can decide. At this moment, Jiang Chen gradually woke up. Niu Tian saw this and hurriedly asked, Chen, you're awake. Jiang Chen immediately responded, He asked in confusion, I'm fine, where's Ruoyin? Did something happen to her? Niu Tian replied, she was taken away half a day ago and hasn't come back, she should be fine, don't worry too much. Wang Ning comforted, forget it, it's too late now. Focus on yourself. If she hadn't invited us for the archaeological trip, we wouldn't have ended up in this situation. He immediately retorted, don't say that. Wang Ning, we're all classmates. And she did it for us. Aren't you being too harsh talking behind her back? Wang Ning replied discontentedly, to be honest, she did it for you, not for us. And isn't what I'm saying the truth? Jiang Shen, what does it mean? That you're protecting her? You're not even a couple, she's the campus belle, what are you? The black wolf from Happy Sheep and Grey Wolf. Niu Tian quickly tried to mediate, alright, stop arguing. But she continued, I wonder what your goddess is doing with that guy right now. After all, this is a world where the strong prey on the weak. Niu Tian shouted angrily, Wang Ning, shut up. Jiang Shen remained silent, and Niu Tian anxiously said, Shen, don't listen to her nonsense. A dog's mouth can't spit out ivory. Jiang Shen clenched his fists, thinking to himself, Ruoyin is not that kind of girl. Someone near the prison door reported, someone is coming. Wang Ning and the others were also surprised and looked over. Someone shouted loudly, Xiao Ruoyin, you and Gu Chang'e. Haiyan Yu appeared at the prison door, and Xiao Ruoyin turned to him, young master. He happily said, Yan Yu, release them all. The prison door was magically opened, and Xiao Ruoyin shouted, everyone, don't be afraid, it's fine. Young Master Gu and the others are not bad people, it was all a misunderstanding before. Someone responded, it really is Xiao Ruoyin. Jiang Shen hurriedly shouted, Ruoyin. Niu Tian clasped his hands together in joy, saying, great. It's all thanks to the campus belle that we're saved. Beautiful. And kind goddess, thank you for not forgetting us. Jiang Shen thought, Ruoyin, why are you dressed differently? The man with a ponytail excitedly said, that's great, Xiao Senior, this outfit looks really beautiful. Wang Ning secretly cursed, relying on that man in white. What luck! Afterwards, they were released. We're saved, someone yelled while running, thinking to themselves, I can't hold it in any longer. Niu Tian helped Jiang Shen walk out, come on, Jiang Shen, let's go. Xiao Ruoyin thank you, young master. Xiao Ruoyin supported Jiang Shen, young master Gu, shall I take them out first? Gu Chang'e smiled and replied, go ahead, have a good chat, I won't disturb you for now. She smiled, thank you, young master. He also smiled and responded, Jiang Shen's expression wasn't very happy. Haiyan Yu spoke up, master, aren't you being too kind to them, especially to Xiao? She suddenly saw Gu Chang'e looking at her, and she immediately became flustered, sorry, Yan Yu went too far. He gently stroked Haiyan Yu's hair. Gu Chang'e gently said, you don't need to think too much, just keep an eye on them. She respectfully replied, yes. Haiyan Yu's cheeks flushed slightly, and she thought to herself, he really has other intentions towards her, no wonder he's the master. The people just released from the prison were split into two groups, talking. The girl wearing a hat looked at Xiao Ruoyin, according to Ruoyin, that young man in white is named Gu. And he's a good person. He was willing to let us go. Wang Ning unhappily snorted, we didn't do anything wrong, why didn't they let us go? They've locked us up for so long and gave no compensation. The man with a ponytail asked, Wang Ning, I remember your grandfather is a high-ranking military officer, right? She answered proudly, now we need to figure out how we ended up here. Once we get back, I'll have my grandfather deal with these qi refining people. On the other side, Jiang Shen asked, Ruoyin, what exactly happened? Why did he suddenly let us go? And what's with your clothes? Niu Tian also asked in confusion, yeah, what's going on? Xiao Ruoyin explained, actually, there's nothing to it. After young Master Gu took me away, he did nothing but ask about our background. I told him the truth. He didn't want to make things difficult for us, in fact, it was just a misunderstanding. Young Master Gu is very kind and means no harm to us. He hesitated and asked, I see. What's your next plan? She looked into the distance and replied, don't worry, everyone. I'll ask young Master Gu to find a safe place for you all. Once I find a way back to Tianlan Star, I'll bring everyone back. Jiang Chen asked again, what about you? Niu Tian also asked, the school beauty isn't coming with us. Xiao Ruoyin answered, I can't. She smiled happily and said, I want to stay by young Master Gu's side. I can't accompany you all anymore. Both of them were shocked and exclaimed, what? Jiang Chen said excitedly, stop joking. Why do you want to stay? Did that guy force you? What does he want from you? Niu Tian added, yeah, if you have any unspoken troubles, just tell us. We'll figure it out together. Xiao Ruoyin elegantly played with her hair and said, Jiang Chen, you misunderstood. I voluntarily stayed. I've explained this before, this is the world of my dreams, and I belong here. I can't let everyone take risks together. Jiang Chen became more agitated, but you invited us here. We should be in this together. Did that bastard give you some kind of mind control? Xiao Ruoyin said unhappily, Jiang Chen, I won't allow you to insult young Master Gu like this. Jiang Chen was stunned when he heard this. He muttered in disbelief, I've been doing my best for you, but you're protecting someone you've known for less than a day. Xiao Ruoyin turned her back, young Master Gu said I'm exceptionally talented, and I'll soon embark on the path of cultivation. By then, we will no longer be from the same world. Jiang Chen said angrily. You believe everything he says? Aren't you afraid he's deceiving you? That Gu guy, he looks like. Suddenly, a monster appeared behind Jiang Chen and Niu Tian. Everyone. Niu Tian was startled and cursed, damn it, a monster. The monster turned to leave, the master has prepared the feast, please follow me. Xiao Ruoyin responded, okay, I understand. Jiang Chen, scared, was covered in cold sweat, how did he just appear like that? Did you see how? Niu Tian answered, see what? He popped up like a ghost and looked hideous, nearly scared me to death. Jiang Chen clenched his fists and thought to himself, we are too weak. Anyone under that Gu guy can easily crush us. This can't go on. I need power. Afterwards, everyone took their seats in the hall. Gu Chang'e picked up his teacup, there were some misunderstandings with everyone earlier, so I've prepared this feast to apologize. Please, make yourselves comfortable. The man with the black face ate while saying, thank you, young Master Gu. Niu Tian also excitedly said, yes, thank you, young Master Gu, for your hospitality. Jiang Chen muttered quietly, the difference in treatment is so obvious, yet they say he's a good person. Niu Tian whispered. Aiken, just keep some things in mind. Don't show it on your face. Let's eat first, we've been hungry for so long. Suddenly, a dazzling light emitted from Jiang Chen's abdomen. The bronze small boat appeared, and Jiang Chen was stunned. Jiang Chen found himself in another space and wondered, where is this? Jiang Chen asked aloud, the bronze small boat brought us through time and space to this place. What is this place? The bronze small boat slowly appeared from the spatial barrier. It answered, this is within your consciousness. I am one with you. I am the spirit of the vessel, and you are the body of the vessel. We are both the divine creation immortal boat. Jiang Chen was shocked, I am one with you, the divine creation immortal boat. What is that? He smiled slightly and thought to himself, could it be that my golden finger has finally arrived? The bronze small pearl explained, the creation immortal pearl can break the cycle of reincarnation, reverse time, see through the heavenly path to eternity, explore fate, and is capable of everything. It is the first immortal artifact after the creation of the world. Jiang Chen touched the bronze small pearl. Do you mean, this is our ability? The bronze small pearl immediately replied, but your current body is too weak. However, don't worry, I can still shape your creation holy body, and you will be invincible in the future. Jiang Chen was shocked. Invincible in the future. He recalled the smiles of Xiao Ruoyin and Gu Chang'e and thought, if that day ever comes, I will never feel so oppressed again. But that Gu. Back in reality, Jiang Chen smiled, from now on, please take care of me. Niu Tian and the black-faced man were stunned. Huh? Niu Tian asked in confusion, Chen, what's wrong? Why are you holding your stomach? Is it your period? The bronze small pearl hesitantly asked, that woman on the left side, who is she? Jiang Chen looked up and thought, Ruoyin, what's wrong? Gu Chang'e asked, that young man has been staring at you, what is your relationship? Xiao Ruoyin quickly explained, no, we have no relationship, we are just ordinary classmates. He picked up his cup and took a sip. Oh, really? I don't think it's that simple. Xiao Ruoyin hesitated. He once pursued me. Gu Chang'e suddenly understood. Oh, I see, I understand now. Xiao Ruoyin hurriedly explained, but I didn't agree. Gu Gongzi, don't misunderstand, we really don't have anything. Please believe me. He calmly said, I believe you, but I think his condition seems off. Aren't you going to check on him? Xiao Ruoyin looked at Jiang Chen. Niu Tian spoke up in concern, Chen, what's wrong? The black-faced man also asked, aren't you hungry? Jiang Chen was stunned and thought, is what you said true? Ruoyin, she. The bronze small pearl confirmed, of course it's true, she is our master, the reincarnation of the emperor's body. The bronze small pearl continued talking about Gu Chang'e, and the man beside her, I can sense that he is very dangerous, this fear penetrates into my soul. See. We cannot let our master get too close to him. Jiang Chen firmly thought, he is a hypocritical villain, outwardly charming but inwardly sinister. Xiao Ruoyin exclaimed, Jiang Chen, don't offend Gu Gongzi. The bronze small pearl immediately warned, be careful, don't expose yourself. Gu Chang'e's subordinate laughed loudly, this kid really looks stupid. Wang Ning showed a look of disgust, what a disgrace. Niu Tian tried to persuade, Chen, forget it. The woman with the hat replied, I didn't expect him to be so infatuated. Xiao Ruoyin hurriedly said to him, Gu Gongzi, Jiang Chen is just not used to it, please don't mind. He smiled calmly, young people are infatuated with me, it makes me respect them, why should I mind? Jiang Chen's points were steadily rising, showing no signs of stopping. Gu Chang'e stared at him, thinking, a little more, just a little more. Suddenly, several beams of light fell on the roof, and Niu Tian noticed the sparks. A fiery red vortex appeared in the center of the hall, and everyone panicked, this. Gu Chang'e calmly asked, is it here? Yan Ji suddenly appeared, and she spoke, Master, long time no see. Jiang Chen whispered, be careful, she should be the most powerful person here. Don't let her find anything. Niu Tian secretly rejoiced, damn, this girl looks so hot. Wang Ning glanced at her and thought, forget it, these qi refining cultivators just love to show off. The man with the bun excitedly thought, so beautiful. The woman with the hat exclaimed, so amazing. If I could cultivate like that, how wonderful would that be? Xiao Ruoyin was confused. Haiyan Yu secretly noticed, this aura is probably at the level of the clan's grand elder. Gu Chang'e spoke, long time no see, Flame Princess. Congratulations on stepping into the quasi-supreme realm. Flame Princess had a calm expression, staring straight ahead. Gu Chang'e introduced, come, Ruoyin, this is the master I've found for you. You will follow her cultivation from now on, hurry up and pay respects. Xiao Ruoyin immediately responded, yes. Xiao Ruoyin knelt before Flame Princess, Ruoyin pays respects to master. Flame Princess nodded in satisfaction, good aptitude. Jiang Chen secretly wondered, what level is quasi-supreme? Is it very strong? Bronze little Zhu answered, one breath from her would wipe out all of you. Jiang Chen broke into a cold sweat, and bronze little Zhu laughed, don't panic, it's indeed far from reach for you now, but once we recover to our peak, Quasi-Supreme won't even be worth mentioning. The immediate priority is ensuring the Master's safety. Xiao Ruoyin said with a smile, Master, you're so beautiful. Flame Princess thought, if Ruoyin can cultivate, then I should be able to as well. Suddenly, Jiang Chen stood up, excuse me, I have a request. Gu Chang'e was surprised and said, oh. What is it? Speak up. He continued, since we have crossed here and have no way to return, why don't we cultivate and seek immortality, if possible? Nyotian excitedly cupped his hands, that's a great idea. I want to cultivate, I want to fly and travel through the earth. The girl with the conical hat agreed, that's right, it's not fair if only Ruoyin can cultivate. The black-haired man chimed in. If I could cultivate, then all my academic achievements would be irrelevant. The man with tied-up hair secretly rejoiced, I also want a female master. Wang Ning secretly thought, why didn't I think of that? With my talent, I would never lose to Xiao Ruoyin. Xiao Ruoyin hesitated, Jiang Chen. Gu Chang'e responded, it's worth a try, but. Jiang Chen continued, but please speak plainly. Gu Chang'e calmly said, cultivation is not something that can be discussed lightly, talent is the key. Without the right aptitude, I'm afraid you won't be able to cultivate. Jiang Chen immediately asked, is there a way to test our aptitude? Bronze little Zhu suddenly realized, I understand. You want to stay close to the master under the guise of cultivation, right? Good idea. Jiang Chen thought to himself, with your judgment, I really can't let Ruoyin stay alone with this person. Gu Chang'e helplessly agreed, since everyone wants to cultivate, I'll make it happen. Everyone was overjoyed upon hearing this, great. The people present were all excited, awesome, we've come all this way, we must be the destined ones. Exactly, it's written like that in novels. Looks like we've really met a noble person. Gu Chang'e sneered, saying, Yen Yu, go down and arrange a check. The warship appeared in the sky, and someone asked, what if there's a conflict? Another person replied, of course, we run. Hearing that the major powers and sects in the country had already left, Qin Wuyan stood in the crowd and secretly called, Ayang. Qin Wuyan frowned, thinking unhappily, with my current strength, I can't possibly save anyone in front of Gu Chang'e. He sighed helplessly, turned, and left, still thinking, I should go find Wana first. Back in the room with the giant stone, Gu Chang'e introduced, this is the aptitude testing stone, used to test the cultivation aptitude of cultivators. Xiao Girl Ruoyin has already passed the test and is a rare talent. Which is why I arranged for her cultivation. If anyone else wants to try cultivating, you can give it a go. Nyotian excitedly asked, is that so, Miss Xiao? Xiao Ruoyin replied, yes, that's right. Master Gu wouldn't lie to you. Nyotian was the first to step forward, then I must try, I'll surprise you all. Nyotian placed his hand on the giant stone. He shouted loudly, how is it? Are you impressed by Brother Nyo's power? The girl with the hat noticed that the stone had no reaction, it seems like there is no special response. Nyo Tian turned to ask He Yenyu, how about it, beauty? Ah no, fairy. She straightforwardly said, what a pity, you're a waste. Nyo Tian was struck like a thunderclap after hearing this. He collapsed to the ground, lamenting, oh my god, damn it. I go to bed early and exercise every day, how could this happen? The guy with the ponytail couldn't believe it, Nyo Tian doesn't have the talent. Wasn't he an athlete before joining the academy? He Yenyu said indifferently, next. The black-haired man reached out to touch the stone, no reaction. I don't have it either. He Yenyu said again, next. Then, the guy with the ponytail touched the stone, I don't have it either. The ponytail guy was secretly disappointed, damn it, my beautiful master. Wang Ning stepped forward and scolded, one after another, you're all useless. Wang Ning placed her hand on the stone and excitedly shouted, no way. Did I get it wrong? I don't have it either. Don't tell me the stone is broken. Hey Yen Yu retorted, a waste is a waste. No cultivation talent, what does that have to do with the testing stone? Bronze little Zhu comforted, don't worry, your talent will definitely shock them. Jiang Chen frowned, looking nervous. Wang Ning crossed her arms and said unhappily, if I can't cultivate, then so be it. Who cares? Niu Tian encouraged, Aiken, you're the last one. Go for it. Jiang Chen placed his hand on the stone, The stone reacted, and the first spirit stone lit up. Then, the light instantly went out, and Jiang Chen was shocked, how is this possible? Bronze little Zhu immediately noticed, wait, this stone has a problem. Jiang Chen turned to He Yen Yu and said, this stone has a problem, I request a retest. She decisively refused, step back, no matter how many times you test, it's the same. Niu Tian was shocked, Aiken, you. Wang Ning also spoke, Jiang Chen, you don't have to feel embarrassed. Jiang Chen was secretly shocked, no one believes me. Niu Tian advised, Aiken, forget it, maybe we really don't have this fate. Wang Ning clicked her tongue, don't think you're the protagonist of a novel. Xiao Ruoyin replied, Jiang Chen, be serious. Young Master Gua hates this kind of thing. The black-haired man agreed, yeah, Brother Chen. Gu Changgu calmly said, this world is this cruel, dust and fate, what should be given up, just give up. Yan Ji secretly wondered, this person's talent is not bad, I don't know why the young master is like this. He continued, although none of you have cultivation talent, I will send you to a safe place, don't worry. Gu Changgu gave the order, Yen Yu, take them away. She respectfully answered, yes, master. Jiang Chen thought, that guy, he really took the opportunity to drive us away. Bronze little Zhu pondered, for now, we don't have the strength to resist him. Looks like to save the master, we need to figure out how to restore our strength quickly. Jiang Chen frowned angrily, cursing in his heart, bastard, pretending to bring us to test. Yan Ji asked, young master, is there something special about the disciple you entrusted to me? Why did you personally break up her companions? Gu Changgu replied indifferently, as expected of Yan Ji, you saw through it right away. He continued, indeed, Ruoyin is special, and she will be of great use to me in the future. Yan Ji wondered. Some of them are also special, why is it? He answered, how can they be compared to the main course? Yan Ji glanced aside, I understand, young master, please rest assured, I will teach her well. Gu Changgu took the lead in leaving, no need, a little deception is enough. She was stunned, ah. He turned around and smiled, you just need to let her know that we treat her the best in this world, like family. The scene shifted to the forest, where Niu Tian said dejectedly, Ah Shen, I don't know when we'll see Xiao Huakue again. After we separate. Wang Ning angrily said, so stingy, not even giving a pair of shoes. The man with the ponytail looked around, what kind of place is this? Niu Tian wondered, do you think, when we're old, she'll still be like this? Jiang Chen whispered, don't worry, I won't let that day happen. The previous test stone had a problem, we can all cultivate. Believe me. Niu Tian asked in surprise, really? He reminded, keep it down. This is not the time to discuss it. Someone in the crowd asked, hey, weren't we supposed to be taken to a safe place? Where is this? It's so desolate, there's not even a place to stay. Another person added, yeah, if Ruoyin took us as disciples, she shouldn't be deceiving us. Wang Ning added, this place doesn't seem like it's meant for people to live in. At that moment, a monster behind them was angrily breathing heavily. Bronze Xiaozhu sensed something was wrong, something's not right. Jiang Chen immediately looked back, what? The monster slammed its fist into the ground, and blood splattered as the ground exploded. Everyone didn't have time to react. Everyone turned around in terror. The monster raised its hand, you're the loudest, chattering non-stop. Wang Ning had already been knocked to the ground by the monster and disappeared without a trace. The monster stared fiercely at Wang Ning, who was lying on the ground, and gritted its teeth. How dare you slander the master? I'll kill you first. Bronze Xiao Zhu hurriedly warned, run. He's going to kill everyone. Jiang Chen shouted anxiously, everyone, run. Jiang Chen ran desperately, thinking, damn, they're not trying to get us to leave, they're. Jiang Chen looked back in terror, continuing to think, they're going to kill us all. The winged monster grabbed the black-haired man and flew into the sky. The black-haired man screamed in terror, help me, help me. At that moment, the monster crushed another person underfoot, and everyone scattered. To flee. The hat-wearing woman screamed in panic, why bring us here, and then try to kill us all? The black-haired man was violently thrown to the ground, his neck snapped, dying on the spot. The man with the ponytail and the hat-wearing woman screamed in terror, they're dead. Wang Ning and the others are all dead. The winged monster quickly flew over, your turn, little fatty. The hat-wearing woman cried, he's coming after us. The man with the ponytail sweated coldly in fear. The man with the ponytail suddenly pushed the hat-wearing woman towards the winged monster, I'm sorry. The winged monster had already appeared behind the hat-wearing woman, oh. Then, the hat-wearing woman was scratched with several bloody marks, her hat falling off, and blood continuously flowed. The man with the ponytail ran while shouting guiltfully, I'm sorry. The monster stomped its foot down, you're so loud. The hat-wearing woman, covered in blood, thought to herself, didn't they say they were the good guys? The winged monster flew towards Niu Tian, is it your turn now? Niu Tian ran while cursing, damn, shitty monster. The winged monster suddenly landed, and Niu Tian was thrown out. Jiang Chen screamed, Niu Tian. The monster suddenly chased from behind Jiang Chen, you should take care of yourself first. The bronze bead reminded, quick, run into the forest. At this moment, dust kept rising in the forest. Jiang Chen hid behind a tree, and the monster said as it walked, kid, stop running, I already saw you. That guy called Niu Gu, he's probably already chopped into pieces. Aren't you going to take revenge? The bronze bead comforted, calm down, he's lying to you. Jiang Chen broke into a cold sweat, remaining on guard. He clenched his fists, thinking to himself, if Niu Tian is in danger, I will kill them all. Suddenly, the monster's strange face came close to Jiang Chen, I told you, I saw you. The bronze bead cried out, not good, run. Jiang Chen was punched away, but because of the protective light circle, he was safe. The bronze bead continued, for now, I can only block this blow for you. The monster opened its hands to grab Jiang Chen, saying, this kid has something strange about him. Jiang Chen's heart trembled, cursing inwardly, damn. Suddenly, a powerful beam of light descended from the sky, striking the monster. The monster immediately stepped back. The monster roared, who? Jiang Chen looked back in shock. An old evil cultivator appeared in the air, chasing a mortal, how shameless. The monster angrily asked. Who are you? The old cultivator calmly said, you aren't worthy of knowing my name, go away. The monster growled, the one my master wants dead, you dare to save. Do you know who my master is? The old cultivator responded calmly, ah, this kid is someone I fancy. No one gets to touch him today, die if you don't leave. The monster gritted its teeth, angrily saying, wait for it, my master won't let you off. Then, the monster flew away. Jiang Chen cupped his hands in gratitude, thank you, senior, for saving my life. The old cultivator laughed loudly, kid, I see they've killed quite a few people here, saving you was a lucky coincidence. The bronze bead reminded, hey, don't be too quick to thank him, this old man doesn't seem like a good person. The old cultivator condensed a ball of dark energy and continued, I'm in a hurry to pass on a technique, not sure if you're interested. The bronze bead said with certainty, it's indeed evil. This old man is definitely not from a righteous sect. Jiang Chen pondered, is there really such a thing as a good person in this world? Can good people survive here? Forget it, even if I cultivate evil, it's better than dying here. The old cultivator continued, this is the MANHWA demon technique. If you accept it, you will be the 108th inheritor. I'm not a good person, be prepared mentally. The bronze bead whispered, this seems like a legacy, it definitely carries an evil nature, doesn't look like a righteous technique. But it's extremely powerful and mysterious. Jiang Chen nervously thought, MANHWA demon technique. I have no other choice. The scene shifted to a battleship, where two monsters knelt behind Gu Chang'e. The winged monster spoke, young master. We've done as you instructed. Niu Tian suddenly awakened some strange power and panicked, jumping off the cliff, his life. Or death unknown. The other monster added, we are guilty. As for Jiang Chen, he was saved by a mysterious old man. Gu Chang'e asked, what about the others? The monster whispered, the rest have all been dealt with. Hearing this, he nodded in satisfaction, well done, you may leave. The monster wiped its cold sweat, yes, thank you, master. Gu Chang'e thought to himself, it seems that among this group of travelers, only 3 are special. Niu Tian really exceeded my expectations. Jumping off the cliff, life or death unknown. He wouldn't be trying to pick up a secret manual and reach the peak of life, would he? Gu Chang'e asked, by the way, Chinga, have you heard any news about your sister recently? Su Chinga was surprised and asked, why are you suddenly asking about her? She hesitated before answering, no, why do you suddenly ask about her? He replied casually, it's nothing, just curious about what you mentioned about your background, I was wondering how she's doing. Su Chinga responded, thank you for your concern, young master. Perhaps my sister is doing well. After all, she was taken down to the lower realm by my mother, not me, so she probably isn't as down and out as I am. Gu Chang'e indifferently said, then, how do you feel about your mother now? Is it longing, or hatred? Su Chinga lightly grabbed his sleeve, I don't know. Chinga has never thought about this. I just feel that as long as I can stay by your side, that's enough. He glanced at her, that won't do. You come from the hidden Ji family, you should go back. Su Chinga was shocked, young master, what do you mean by that? Gu Chang'e smiled happily, anyway, you and your sister look very alike, so, as long as you do as I say, you'll be able to help me control the Ji family in the future. She blankly asked, control, the Ji family? Gu Chang'e showed a troubled expression, trying to control her thoughts, what? Chinga doesn't want to. You don't love me anymore? Su Chinga hurriedly denied, how could that be? Chinga has no feelings for the Ji family, I am willing to listen to your arrangements. He happily put his arm around her shoulder, that's good. My plan hasn't changed, but there's no rush. We still have things to do. Su Chinga asked in confusion, young master, do you mean the rescue of Xiang from the Purple Mansion? But we've been waiting here for a long time, and the Purple Mansion is about to be surrounded by various forces, it's about to fall into enemy hands. At this moment, on the other side, it was desolate, with corpses scattered around. 3 people were gathered together. A red-haired woman shouted, I told you, Patriarch, there were only a few spots, why are you joining in on the fun? Gu Lintian replied. Boredly, what? The Gu family hasn't moved for so long, can't I go for a walk? A gray-haired elder spoke, I can't wait any longer. Su Chinga asked, can they really still save Xiang Tianjun? Gu Chang'e replied, don't worry, we'll be there soon. The scene shifts to another mansion. The emperor asked, Howard, what's the situation? Have you found Xiang Tianjun? Chu Hao replied, Gu Chang'e is very cautious, and their fleet is too large. After such a long time, I still haven't figured it out. The emperor nervously stroked his face, this is bad. The Purple Mansion's army has traveled thousands of miles and is about to fight Gu Chang'e here. Howard, what do you think father should do? Chu Hao anxiously called out, Father. He clenched his fists, trembling slightly. Chu Hao turned and shouted, Yang Zun. By Yang's side, the sect has sent word, the purple mansion is on the brink, and the supreme cave heaven cannot easily get involved. Chu Hao pursed his lips and replied calmly, I understand. Chu Hao turned and left. Father, I must go find Wana now and ask her to plead with Gu Changa. At this point, there's no other way. Qin Wuya knocked on a door. Inside, Tang Wan asked in confusion, Qin Protector, is something the matter? Qin Wuya smiled and replied, I saw Miss Tang frowning, is something bothering you? She sighed and walked out from behind the desk, it's nothing, just some small issues with the accounts. He suggested, I see. If Miss Tang doesn't mind, would you like to talk with me? She said, ever since Gu Changa's army stationed in the Zhuke ancient kingdom, both cultivators and mortals have fled, causing business to. Qin Wuya hesitated and asked, a great battle is about to start, and people are fearful, that's normal. But why hasn't Miss Tang left? Tang Wan sadly replied, if the war will never happen, I would rather continue to suffer losses like this. Qin Wuya secretly understood, is it because of that Chu Hao? I never thought that in this life, I still can't let her go, Wana. Tang Wan suddenly asked, what about you, Elder Qin? Didn't you leave the Zhuke ancient kingdom out of fear? Qin Wuya smiled and said, of course, it was because I wanted to protect Miss Tang. She was surprised and exclaimed. Qin Wuya smiled and said, think about it. If I went in and then ran out, how could any sect or family dare take me in? If that got out? Tang Wan giggled, I didn't expect Elder Qin not only to be incredibly powerful but also so humorous. Suddenly, a maid entered to report, Miss, Prince Chu Hao requests an audience. Tang Wan angrily said, what does he want? Don't let him in. Chu Hao directly stepped through the door, Wana, I really have urgent matters. Only you can save me now. Qin Wuya felt puzzled, he is. Tang Wan exclaimed, how did you break in? Chu Hao loudly said, Wana, I know you're still angry with me. I apologize, I swear that if you help me again, I will listen to everything you say. Qin Wuya reached out to stop Chu Hao, stop, don't come any closer. He asked, who are you? Tang Wan held Qin Wuya's hand. Tang Wan walked forward, puzzled, are you serious? Have you finally understood my intentions? Chu Hao hesitated and nodded, of course. The Purple Mansion's army is about to arrive, and to prevent the Zhuke ancient kingdom from being affected, we must make him leave here as soon as possible. Chu Hao grabbed Tang Wan's shoulder and continued, and you know my relationship with Gu Changa, so Wana, please beg Gu Changa to leave the Zhuke ancient kingdom. Tang Wan was surprised, tears filling her eyes. Facing Chu Hao's request, Tang Wan broke free from his hand, what are you saying? I'm not close to him and have no relationship with him. How can I ask him? How can I change his decision? Chu Hao's face darkened, Wana, at this point, there's no need to hide it anymore. I know your relationship with Gu Changa is ambiguous, and you often meet with him privately, right? Tang Wan was stunned by his words, unable to speak. Qin Wuya was full of questions, and the mysterious person angrily said, really? You're all too reckless. Chu Hao continued, sorry, I've been secretly watching you, so I know everything about you. If it weren't for the urgency today, I wouldn't have said it. Tang Wan retorted, so you think the only person who can save the Zhuke ancient kingdom is me? That's why the mighty prince like you lowers himself to apologize to me and asks for my help. Chu Hao hesitated, Wana, Tang Wan shouted angrily, do you think I'm close to him? So in your eyes, I'm just that kind of woman who will change sides depending on the wind, right? Who do you think I'm doing this for? Chu Hao hurriedly kneeled in front of her, Wana, I know you may have reasons, but now. Tang Wan angrily shouted, enough. Her face darkened, filled with disappointment, I'm so disappointed in you. Please leave. Chu Hao stood up and tried to hold her back, Wana. Qin Wuya impatiently said, I've been patient with you long enough, and you dare speak rudely to Miss Tang. Qin Wuya glared with anger, his body radiating a green aura, what kind of man are you? Qin Wuya released his powerful energy, sending Chu Hao flying out of the door. Chu Hao wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and shouted, "Prince of the Supreme! How was I supposed to know that the Zhuge ancient kingdom had such a person? What kind of monster are you? What's your ulterior motive for getting close to Wanner?" Qin Wuye calmly replied, "Ulterior motive? I'm not like some people who slander her reputation to achieve their goals." Chu Hao roared, "What does it matter to you what happens between us? If you interfere, don't blame me for being rude." Qin Wuye calmly said, "I'm her newly appointed elder, so it's naturally my duty to escort you out." Chu Hao said fiercely, "Move aside, do you know what kind of disaster your actions will bring to the Zhuge ancient kingdom?" Qin Wuye calmly thought, "If they don't fight, how can I find an opportunity to save a young?" Both sides' spirit beasts appeared and confronted each other. System prompt, hatred conflict discovered between the children of fate, both sides fate points lost. Gu Chang'e said with satisfaction, "This one didn't disappoint me after all." He looked towards the warship direction. "It's a pity, I don't have time to watch who is stronger between you two. This great battle is about to begin." Many old figures arrived, and the Purple Mansion's Grand Elder and several others appeared. "Gu family brat." He shouted, "The Gu family brat has sinister thoughts, heavily wounding my sect's disciples, killing my sect's supreme, and making my Purple Mansion the target of everyone." Gu Chang'e spoke, "You are the Purple Mansion's Grand Elder?" The Purple Mansion's Grand Elder released vast energy. "Now I don't want to say much with you, within 3 breaths, hand over Xiang, or I'll make sure you die without a complete corpse." His eyes were sharp. 3. Gu Chang'e's expression darkened, "Kill. I hate being lectured." He shouted, "The Purple Mansion has colluded with the demon arts heir, the evidence is conclusive. Not a single one should be left alive." Gu Chang'e's subordinates began to charge and attack. The Purple Mansion's Grand Elder angrily shouted, "The Gu family brat is slandering, imprisoning my Purple Mansions. Genius alone. All disciples, follow orders, kill Gu Chang'e, and rescue Xiang." His army also rushed into battle. Intense battles erupted, both sides engaged in fierce combat. Loud explosions constantly rang out, deafening. A giant python coiled around a statue created by a cultivator, the ancient vine serpent clan, damn it. Another cultivator swung a huge sword and struck at the enormous creature, the immortal ancient divine crocodile clan, nothing special. Earth-shattering explosions continued, and a person in red panicked, "Did the young master Chang'e really start fighting with the Purple Mansion? Not even negotiating?" A gray-haired person screamed in fear, "Run. We can't stay in the Zhuge ancient kingdom anymore, we don't know how we'll die if we're late." The Purple Mansion's Grand Elder looked at the battle situation and laughed with pride, "Gu family brat, you really don't know the sky's height or the earth's depth. Now, with just a small effort from me, you'll probably be left with nothing but ash." Gu Chang'e's expression was indifferent. "Then why don't you make a move? Is it because you're unwilling, or because you're scared?" He questioned, "Do you think with the protection of an emperor-level guardian, you can relax without worry?" The Purple Mansion's Grand Elder waved his hand and summoned 4 elders. "To kill you, it's not yet my turn to act." Gu Chang'e chuckled, "Oh. They're all supreme level. The Purple Mansion retreats everywhere in direct confrontation. Yet you can gather so many supreme experts here to save people. The Grand Elder really holds me in high regard." The Purple Mansion's Grand Elder became furious. "Brat, you are full of schemes, old 7 died because of your conspiracy, how dare I underestimate you? Quickly take the life of the Gu family brat." The 4 supremes immediately charged towards Gu Chang'e. Gu Chang'e's 4 subordinates quickly flew out and blocked the attacks of the 4 supremes. The Purple Mansion's Grand Elder sneered, "I don't know the Gu family's foundation, but the supreme combat power of your subordinates can't be hidden from me." The 6th Elder appeared behind Gu Chang'e, holding a magical treasure. "Go in. Struggle and die in the cold sky cauldron." He glanced back in surprise, thinking, an emperor-level magical treasure. Gu Chang'e was sucked into the cold sky cauldron by the 6th Elder's treasure. "Hey, can you?" anxiously shouted, "Master. Su Chinga also called out in panic, "Young master." The two entered another space, and the sixth elder said, "This is inside the cold sky cauldron, completely isolated from the outside world. No aura or technique can be transmitted." Gu Changa calmly said, perhaps that's true." The sixth elder continued, "Do you still not understand your situation? Even with your emperor-level protector, they won't be able to save you in a short time. And as for me, a supreme-level being killing you, a great saint, what do you think?" Gu Changa laughed aloud, "I think your big nose is really lucky. Because..." Gu Changa's expression darkened, and he grinned maliciously, "You could become a clear ghost." Meanwhile, the battlefield was particularly fierce, with Bai Yang holding up a protective shield for the national leader. He knelt on the ground and sighed, "Howard, what are you doing?" The national leader despaired, "It's over, it's all over. Our ancestors' thousand-year legacy has been destroyed by us." Bai Yang could only sigh helplessly. Chu Hao was engaged in a fierce battle with Qin Wuya, the two of them clashing with their own strength in close combat. Tang Wan stepped out and looked up at the sky. In the end, the battle has begun. Qin Wuya and Chu Hao immediately stopped moving. The three of them looked up and saw the sky filled with flames, accompanied by countless defeated soldiers. Chu Hao and Qin Wuya hurriedly shouted, "Wanner, be careful." Qin Wuya flew toward her, and Chu Hao blocked in front. Chu Hao successfully stopped a falling fireball. "Wanner, are you all right?" At that moment, Qin Wuya was holding Tang Wan in his arms. Chu Hao saw this and angrily shouted, "Let go of her." Qin Wuya set Tang Wan down and said, "Miss Tang, it's too dangerous here. Please leave quickly." She asked, "What about Qin Guardian?" He replied, "I still have things to handle. Don't worry, I'll be fine." Tang Wan cupped her hands and said, "Then please be careful, Qin Guardian." Qin Wuya returned the gesture. Chu Hao, seeing this, was filled with resentment. "This isn't the time for love talks. We must minimize the losses. Afterward, I'll settle the score with that Qin guy." Tang Wan was filled with disappointment. "In my heart, he is the most important, but in his heart, it's the country and the emperor, not even a guardian he just met is more important." Qin Wuya thought to himself, "Senior, stop dozing off. This is our perfect chance to fish in troubled waters." The mysterious person responded, "All right, let's go. It will be much easier without those old monsters from the Gu family." Xiao Ruoyin gazed up at the sky. "Is this the war of the cultivation world? Even such powerful cultivators, their lives are like grass and weeds." She continued, "Master, what is the true meaning of this war?" Yen Ji, while fighting with cultivators, said, "You don't know, in this world, the young master is the leader of the righteous path. He should act for heaven's will, slay demons, and eliminate evil. And the root cause of this war is the heir of the demon arts, the greatest enemy of the world." In the space of the cold sky cauldron, intense battles erupted continuously in the sky. The sixth elder and Gu Changa's attacks collided violently, and an explosion occurred again. The sixth elder was shocked to discover, "So you are the heir of the demon arts? You deceived everyone." Gu Changa sneered, "No, there are still a few people who know the truth and are still alive. Of course, you are not one of them." The sixth brother spread his arms, with scorching airflow swirling around his hands, really arrogant. "Once I kill you, I will expose your truth to the public, and all the blame will fall on your Gu family. By then, everything will be properly settled." A scorching power was erupting. A giant phoenix appeared. The sixth brother roared, "So what if you're the descendant of the demon art? This is a divine technique of the semi-emperor realm, and you will still die." Gu Changa swung his spear. "Being the descendant of the demon art isn't that simple." He asked with a strange expression, "What does it have to do with my demon lord?" A group of demons appeared behind Gu Changa, and he ordered, "Devour it." The sixth brother was gradually being burned to ashes. "What? No. Gu Changa, if you kill me, you won't escape either." The phoenix was entangled and devoured by Gu Changa's demons, ultimately annihilating. He responded calmly, escape. A mere Emperor-grade artifact, I have one too. The cold sky artifact gradually cracked open. A decree flew out of the cold sky artifact, and the Grand Elder of the Purple Mansion exclaimed, Emperor-grade decree. He Yenyu shouted anxiously, Master. Su Qingde also sighed in relief, young master. That's great. Gu Chang'e successfully escaped the artifact, saying, if I dared to stay too long, I would naturally be prepared. The Grand Elder of the Purple Mansion's expression grew solemn, no wonder you aren't afraid. Where is my sixth brother? Even with an Emperor-grade decree, with such a huge gap in realm, you cannot easily kill him. Gu Chang'e replied calmly, but he has been thoroughly defeated. The elder continued, there must be something wrong with you, kid. He thought to himself, as expected of an old monster who has become a spirit, talking so much without attacking. I must force this old guy to act. Gu Chang'e swung his sword to gather strength, loudly saying, what problem? Try it yourself and you'll find out. He struck towards the Grand Elder of the Purple Mansion, the sword light howling as it approached. The elder remained motionless, raising his hand to gather power and block Gu Chang'e's sword light, ignorant child. The Grand Elder of the Purple Mansion successfully controlled his sword strike. Gu Chang'e was stunned, it can actually match a semi-emperor sword strike. Borrowing power? No, that's not it. The Grand Elder of the Purple Mansion cast a spell, causing the sword energy to counterattack Gu Chang'e, take it back. He Yenyu and Su Qingde were drenched in cold sweat, frozen in place, their hearts filled with terror. No. We can't move. The sword energy sliced through the warship. The sword energy struck the city, destroying it. The sword energy swept through the entire street, obliterating everything in its path. Gu Chang'e thought, it seems this old guy is still unwilling to strike at me easily, but this old guy has definitely already reached the Tao realm. In that case. Xiang collapsed to the ground, unconscious. Gu Chang'e dragged Xiang in front of him and said, Thief Xiang Tianjun, the one you want is here, come and take him if you dare. The Grand Elder of the Purple Mansion shouted excitedly, Xiang. The Hongmeng Dao Bone and Immortal Dao Eye are gone, you little bastard dare to. Qin Wuya whispered secretly, Senior. The mysterious person reassured him, don't worry. Now is not the time, let's observe the situation. Perhaps we don't even need to act because that Purple Mansion old monster may already be unable to hold back and is about to take action. The Purple Mansion elder was in the middle of a fierce battle, urgently calling out, Big brother. Let's make a move. This kid not only put Xiang in this state but also killed the sixth brother just now. If we don't kill him, our hatred will never be resolved. He gritted his teeth and said, moreover, his protector might be busy with other matters right now, if we don't act now, we might miss the opportunity. Gu Chang'e smiled faintly, thinking, how could the protector be so easily distracted? Right? Suddenly, he broke into a cold sweat, Qingdi. The Grand Elder of the Purple Mansion's hand was surrounded by an aura, forget it. His body expanded, and a massive light orb formed in his palm. Today, I will not only kill this kid but also eliminate him thoroughly. The Grand Elder of the Purple Mansion's palm power enveloped the warship, suppressing it. Gu Chang'e braced himself with his sword on the ground to maintain balance, thinking, I heard that the Purple Mansion Grand Elder almost reached that realm back then, truly an old monster. Su Qingde was crushed by the pressure, collapsing on the ship. Is this the power of the Emperor realm? This feeling is so painful. He Yenyu also struggled to lie nearby, this is countless times stronger than the Tao sword energy before. Gu Chang'e's demonic followers were tortured by his power, the monster suppressed to the point where they couldn't even resist. One of them shouted, even I, a semi-key, can't withstand this. Xiao Ruoyin was also affected, her eyes wide in shock. She painfully held her head, Master, I feel like I'm going to explode. Yan Ji supported her while barely maintaining her balance. Yan Ji was sweating profusely, thinking, facing a Tao realm cultivator, my semi-supreme strength is like an ant. Young master, forgive me. Yen Ji can't help you. The Grand Elder of the Purple Mansion continued to suppress the worship with terrifying might, just relying on that protector's sword can't save you. You will die today. The earth kept cracking and shattering. Gu Changde frowned and endured. Suddenly, someone unsheathed their sword. Now, an Dao realm cultivator dares to bully a descendant of the Gu family. A shocking slash of light struck, directly severing the Grand Elder's arm. The Grand Elder of the Purple Mansion stared with wide eyes, frozen in place. The sky returned to normal, and He Yenyu spoke, but it seems a more terrifying existence has appeared. Su Qinglan then said, that terrifying aura, it seems to have disappeared. Gu Changde fell into deep thought without speaking, feeling confused about the situation before him. Is this the resonance of the bloodline within me? The brown-haired elder asked in confusion. My elder brother is already at the peak of the Emperor realm. The one who severed his hand must also be at the peak of the Emperor realm. He thought to himself, this is troublesome. Someone gradually appeared. As an old man like me, it's rare to go out and see these juniors, and I end up encountering such troublesome matters. Gu Lang continued, at that time, the ancestor of the Purple Mansion was just a child herding cattle, and I taught him. Gu Lang disappeared his beard. The Grand Elder of the Purple Mansion asked in confusion, You, who are you? Gu Lang introduced himself, my name is Gu Lang, the 18th ancestor of the Gu family. The Grand Elder of the Purple Mansion immediately controlled two giant demonic hands to attack. No matter who you are, since you're an enemy, the first thing to do is kill a Dao cultivator from the Gu family. The two demonic hands attacked Gu Lang. Gu Lang swung his sword and said, do you think a Dao cultivator represents the peak of the upper world? Gu Lang's sword struck, fiercely cutting into the elder's body, directly severing both demonic hands and his real hand. The Grand Elder of the Purple Mansion gritted his teeth in anger, I can't recover. Impossible. His body gradually started to crack open. The Grand Elder of the Purple Mansion stared wide-eyed, is there no immortal left in this world? He asked, is 10 deaths with no life really like this? Gu Lang sheathed his sword, a broken immortal is still an immortal. Then the Grand Elder of the Purple Mansion completely disappeared. The white-haired elder vaguely said, Big Brother is already. The tied-up elder also exclaimed, the Grand Elder has guarded the Purple Mansion for tens of thousands of years, and yet he has fallen. Xiao Ruoyin asked in confusion, Master, is this the background of young Master Gu? Yen Ji happily replied, this might just be the tip of the iceberg. Xiao Ruoyin thought, this is so terrifying. I can't even imagine it. Gu Changde looked at the two huge cracks in the sky. Someone asked, did we win? Was that the power of an immortal? He calmly thought, it seems that what I fear the most in this world is the exposure of my family's monstrous ancestors. Gu Lang asked, Kid, are you the future heir of the Gu family? Gu Changde thought, this person's character is not like Gu Nanshan. He clasped his fists and bowed, Changde pays respects to the 18th ancestor. I've heard of the ancestor severing the immortal ancient path with a single sword and have long hoped to meet you. I never expected to meet you under such circumstances. I suppose this fulfills one of my wishes. Gu Lang said indifferently, such flattering words. Suddenly, Gu Lang stopped, noticing Xiang lying on the side of the ship. Gu Lang kicked Xiang aside, I like hearing that, but you kid aren't bad. You already have such cultivation. And means at such a young age. You will probably be much stronger than I am in the future. Su Qinglan spoke, young master, you're too modest. Gu Changde awkwardly said, ancestor overpraises me. Gu Lang laughed loudly, I heard your father has arranged a wife for you. Is she the daughter of that young man from the Wushuang immortal dynasty? He Yenyu hesitated and replied, yes. He Yenyu spoke, Master, how should we handle the remaining elders and disciples of the Purple Mansion? Gu Changde replied, those who follow live, those who go against die. Gu Lang looked at him, thinking, that's right, this is the demeanor a future leader of the Gu family should have. A cultivator from the Zifu side fled, damn it. The winged demon behind kept chasing, laughing loudly. Zifu remnants, quickly surrender. Catch them. Qin Wuyo anxiously said, Senior, my junior brother hasn't been rescued yet. The mysterious person angrily rebuked, rescue? Can't you see how the old monster from Zifu died? That was an Emperor Realm Daoist. You still don't see the situation clearly. A person stepped forward and patted Qin Wuyo's shoulder, hey, brother, what are you still standing there for? Now's the time to earn achievements from Zifu's downfall. He suddenly came to his senses and replied, fine, you go ahead first. The person immediately flew off, then follow me later. Qin Wuyo clenched his teeth, thinking, but my junior brother. The mysterious person spoke, stop mentioning your junior brother. Kid, from now on, we part ways, but for old times. Sake, I'll give you a piece of advice, if you don't want to die, stay away from the Gu family of eternal life. Qin Wuyo closed his eyes tightly, tears in his eyes, cursing inwardly, damn it. Young, I'm sorry. The winged demon suddenly stopped, wait. Do we have someone like this in our clan? Something's off. The winged demon looked back, and suddenly a great explosion occurred, where are they? Standing in front of the ruins, Bai Yang spoke, Howard, don't blame your Shirshu. At this level of battle, we can't intervene. Chu Hao painfully knelt on the ground, how did it come to this? How could this happen? Everything I wanted to protect is now because of me. Bai Yang stroked his beard and said, I've sent your father to safety, now come back with me to the Supreme Cave. Chu Hao covered his face and cried, Bai Yang continued, put aside your grievances with Gu Chang'e 4. Now, focus on becoming the leader of the Supreme Cave, only then will you have a chance for revenge. Chu Hao cried out in the pouring rain, Shirshu, I hate him. At this moment, Jiang Chen and the old evil cultivator stood on the mountaintop. Jiang Chen asked, Senior, is the struggle in this world always so destructive? The old evil cultivator replied, struggle. This kind of battle at this level is probably a once-in-a-thousand-year longevity war. Jiang Chen's expression became serious, I don't care whether it's the longevity war or something else. I only know. The old evil cultivator sneered, what do you know? You still want to take revenge on Gu Chang'e? If you offend him, whether I save you or not is something I need to consider. Jiang Chen was stunned, Senior, you once said. My bones are strange, my talent exceptional. Could it be that even if I reach my peak, I can't rival him? The old evil cultivator stroked his beard and said lightly, that's Gu family we're talking about. He gritted his teeth, unwilling. The bronze little boat spoke, Jiang Chen, don't be discouraged by the old evil cultivator's words. Don't worry, we'll follow him. To cultivate, and when our strength is enough, I will rebuild the immortal boat with you. The Gu family, we can handle them. Jiang Chen suddenly spoke, Senior, maybe you've never heard this phrase. The old evil cultivator froze, What phrase? He frowned and said seriously, 30 years in the east, 30 years in the west, don't bully the young because they are poor. The old evil cultivator turned his back, all right, I'm already looked down on as an old poor man. I've heard enough of that phrase, I've killed countless geniuses who said it. The warship returned from the barrier, and the crowd on the ground excitedly said, great. The trial of the true Immortal Academy is finally over. I wonder who has the highest score this time. Look. Princess Mingkong is back. Yu Mingkong stood at the bow of the ship, wondering, Chang'e, hasn't returned yet? Wang Ziqin put his arm around her shoulder and laughed, who are you looking for? Your husband. She remained silent. Wang Ziqin continued, probably just destroyed Zifu, counting the money now. Wang Ziqin teased, there's a saying from my hometown that I think is perfect for Brother Gu. A man willing to give you his magic weapon may not love you. But a man who refuses to give you his magic weapon definitely doesn't love you. A warship flew through the air, and Yen Ji spoke, the Dantian is a cultivator's life wheel, the foundation. Spiritual energy transforms into magical power, it's the source of strength. Xiao Ruoyin sat on the ground with a worried expression and asked, Master, am I too stupid? It's been 3 days and I still haven't opened my spiritual sea. Yan Ji smiled and said, cultivation isn't that easy, this step has stopped countless mortals' dreams. Not everyone is a genius like young master. But don't worry, at your current speed, within a month at most, you'll open your spiritual sea. Xiao Ruoyin said dejectedly, but I've consumed a lot of young Master Gu's pills, which depleted many resources. I'm afraid. Suddenly, Gu Chang'e walked in from outside. So you were worried about this? The enchanting woman said in surprise, young master. He conjured a bunch of pills in front of her. These pills are plentiful for me, Miss Xiao need not worry. Just focus on your cultivation. The enchanting woman replied, following young master, we never lack these things. Xiao Ruoyin was shocked, so many. She held a pile of pills, secretly thinking, how generous, it feels like I'm being kept. Xiao Ruoyin asked with confusion, young master, if it's not too bold, how long did it take you to open your spiritual sea? Gu Chang'e hesitated, it seems the spiritual sea had already formed when I was born. Xiao Ruoyin froze upon hearing this, murmuring softly, sorry to interrupt. As expected, a big shot is truly a big shot. Gu Chang'e continued, by the way, in a few days, Miss Xiao should go with your master to the Dao Tian Immortal Palace for cultivation. There will be elders to guide you, and there will be many fellow disciples, which will greatly benefit your cultivation. Xiao Ruoyin was startled and stammered, Dao Tian Immortal Palace. What about young master? Will we have to part ways? He answered calmly. I have to return to the true Immortal Academy. You should cultivate well and not disappoint me. She immediately replied, yes. At the true Immortal Academy, someone was speeding through the air. A group of cultivators gathered and discussed, have you heard? Young Master Chang'e is back. Does that mean our top 10 list will be rearranged? A brown-haired woman spoke, young Master Chang'e is really powerful. Fortunately, he's one of our academy. A woman with a headband agreed, yes, it's just a pity that my senior sister, Chen Wu, was killed by Qin Huio while encircling Xiang. The immortal empress looked at King Lu Guan and said, impressive. He even destroyed something as vast as the Zifu. Now, do you still think he is your equal opponent? Lu Guan broke into a cold sweat and said fearfully, well, maybe we don't have to be opponents. At that moment, Gu Chang'e was being led to a mansion. Yu Mingkong flipped through a paper and said, according to my memory, the Changtian Tower should be about to emerge. Although this world is different from the previous one, there is no mistake about this. I remember nearby there are forces like Luoxia Cave Heaven, Ancient Sword Sect, and the Xinqiu Sect. Suddenly, a maid reported, Princess, young Master Chang'e requests an audience. She looked up in surprise. Yu Mingkong saw Gu Chang'e push the door open and asked, what are you doing here? He retorted, what? Is it wrong for your husband to finally take some time to visit his wife? Yu Mingkong quickly stepped back, wait. She reached out to stop him, we haven't married yet. Without my permission, you cannot enter my bedroom. Gu Chang'e was confused, before, when I was fighting with the Zifu army, you didn't care about me. I almost died in the hands of a Zifu expert, and now you won't even let me into your room. Yu Mingkong replied expressionlessly, didn't the Zifu expert die tragically? I don't believe your nonsense. Gu Chang'e angrily said, fine. Then I'll leave. I'll never come to find you again. Yu Mingkong grabbed his sleeve, that's not allowed either. He coldly snorted in dissatisfaction, this isn't allowed, that isn't allowed. What am I supposed to do then? She asked, tell me, what is it that you want? Gu Chang'e turned around and smiled, replying, I just missed you. She stammered, this excuse. I guess it works. He denied, this time, it's not an excuse. She continued, so, was it an excuse before? Countless magical treasures appeared, connecting into one piece. Gu Chang'e conjured dozens of magical treasures floating in the air and said, "This is the betrothal gift, a present for you. How is it, are you satisfied?" Yu Mingkong looked at the magical treasures, her eyes filled with interest. "Are these your spoils of war? Some of these things are hard to obtain, even in the Wushuang immortal dynasty." At the same time, she thought to herself, he really has changed. At least the one from the previous life didn't have this kind of idea. Gu Chang'e hugged her affectionately from behind. "As long as you like it. It's worth the time I spent picking it out for you." He smiled and asked, "Mingkong, tell the truth. Have you missed me during this time?" Yu Mingkong answered bluntly, "No." He denied it. "You're being evasive." Suddenly, Gu Chang'e picked up Yu Mingkong. She asked in a panic, What are you doing?" He calmly replied, "Tell me. What were you looking at just now?" Yu Mingkong nervously looked away. "I was planning to tell you about it." Gu Chang'e responded, "It's okay, take your time." After saying that, he immediately kissed her lips. She was surprised and said, "In broad daylight, you." Gu Chang'e laid her on the bed, his lips still not leaving hers. "I'm not lying this time. I really missed you." He thought, the 7 heavenly artifacts are just a bonus. With a snap of his fingers, he made the magic artifacts emit a soft glow and said, "Now you can talk." The night was hazy, and Gu Chang'e asked, "Tianquan mountain range, this is where one of the 7 heavenly artifacts, the Changtian Tower, is located?" Yu Mingkong leaned on his chest and answered, "Yes, I went through many ancient texts and finally found the possible location of the Changtian Tower." He extended his hand and summoned 2 magic artifacts. It is said that gathering all the 7 heavenly artifacts can open the secret vault of the Immortal Palace. I wonder if this rumor is true. Yu Mingkong was greatly shocked. Is this the Changtian bottle and the Changtian crown? Gu Chang'e smiled, "They're for you." She asked in confusion, "What are you giving these to me for?" He calmly replied, "Aren't you collecting them? I can't use them, so it's just right for me to give them to you." She showed a hint of frustration, "I don't need them. I can't use them." Gu Chang'e hesitated, "Then why are you collecting them?" She was silent for a moment. He suddenly said excitedly, "So Mingkong is helping me collect them. You're really so thoughtful." Yu Mingkong glanced at him, "I think you're too fake." He laughed and replied, "Just an illusion." Then, Gu Chang'e quickly sped up to return to the manor. He looked at the system interface. Besides system rewards, can't I buy similar magic artifacts and spiritual items? The system displayed. System Mall. The result, such magic artifacts and spiritual items, the host must find on their own, they cannot be purchased. Gu Tianyi coughed and walked in. "Why are you just standing there?" Gu Chang'e glanced at her over his shoulder. Gu Tianyi asked, "After defeating the Z mansion, you've probably gained a lot, right?" He answered casually, "Well, it's okay, I guess." She continued, "You went to see Mingkong, I heard you gave her a lot of nice things." He answered again, Gu Tianyi walked past him, "Not bad." Gu Chang'e asked in confusion, "Is something wrong?" Gu Tianyi looked around and replied, "Not really, just came to see you." She then asked, "Want something?" She answered, "No, do you think I'm that kind of person?" Gu Tianyi continued, "I'm just concerned." She pulled out a ring, leaving her stunned. Gu Tianyi looked at the ring in confusion. "This?" Gu Chang'e asked, "Do you want it?" She smiled and happily answered, "Yes, yes." He continued, "Then take it and go." Gu Xian'er excitedly ran off after receiving the ring. "Okay, love you. My dear brother." Gu Chang'e stood dazed in place. At the Xinyu Gate, old evil cultivator and Jiang Shen were here. Jiang Shen, the Xinyu Gate. Old evil cultivator spoke, "Yes, the Xinyu Gate is the most powerful force within 10,000 miles. From today, you will cultivate within the sect and follow the teachings I pass on. I hope you won't disappoint me." Jiang Shen replied seriously, "I understand." He thought to himself, what's wrong with cultivating demonic arts? In this world, weakness is a crime. Only strength can ensure survival and a better life. From now on, even if I have to kill, burn, and harm cultivators, I won't hesitate. 2 disciples knelt on the ground, pleading, Master, please give us another chance. The white-haired elder waved his hand decisively, leave, your talents are too ordinary, no matter how hard you try, there will be no result. Jiang Shen stepped forward and spoke, Master, please wait, I also wish to join the Xinyu Gate. The 2 disciples immediately looked back, and the white-haired elder turned to look at him as well. The elder said, You're too old. Even if you have talent, it doesn't meet the rules. The Xinyu Gate only accepts disciples under 18. Jiang Shen gritted his teeth and said firmly, Master, I believe with my talent, I can make the Xinyu Gate make an exception. The brown-haired disciple stepped forward, placing his hand on Jiang Shen's shoulder and tugging at his clothes, sneering, the Xinyu Gate doesn't make exceptions even for noble disciples, and you, a kid who can't even wear proper clothes, want to join? Jiang Shen calmly replied, This is a brand name. The fat disciple crossed his arms and said, Oh. Brand name? Go look at yourself in the mirror first. Jiang Shen frowned, confused, muttering to himself, when I read novels, it seemed so simple. I didn't expect the real cultivation world to be so cruel. Could it be that I really can't even get into the door? Suddenly, a girl and a boy flew from the distance. The girl shouted, Give him a chance. The girl was Ji Chuyue. She flew past Jiang Shen, and the brown-haired disciple and fat disciple stood dumbfounded, amazed. The bronze boat warned, This girl is not simple, be careful. Ji Chuyue landed in front of the white-haired elder, who immediately bowed his head. She said to Jiang Shen, Hey. Beggar, why are you still stunned? Hurry up and follow me. The 2 disciples angrily said, This kid is really lucky. One sighed, Why isn't it us? The brown-haired disciple snorted, Mortal. Jiang Shen remained frozen in place. Jiang Shen widened his eyes, unable to speak for a moment, then shouted, Miss, my name isn't that. I'm not a beggar, I'm Jiang Shen. Jiang Shen followed behind them, Thank you for helping me get a chance to enter the Xinyu Gate. Ji Chuyue replied casually, No need to thank me, it was just a small thing. Jiang Shen asked in confusion, May I ask, what is your name, miss? The brown-haired disciple frowned and angrily shouted, How dare you ask her name? Ji Chuyue raised her hand to cover her mouth and lightly laughed, It's okay, you can call me Chuyue. Jiang Shen smiled, Chuyue, like the rising moon, truly a good name. The brown-haired disciple grew angrier, How dare you praise Miss Chuyue's name? Jiang Shen crossed his arms, coldly looking at the brown-haired disciple, Brother, I was just having a normal conversation with Miss Chuyue. Don't you think you're being a bit noisy? The brown-haired disciple immediately exploded in rage, What? You dare speak to me like that? Ji Chuyue couldn't help but laugh. She slightly raised the corner of her mouth, thinking, This boy called Jiang Shen is really amusingly silly. The brown-haired disciple approached Jiang Shen, snorting, You don't know the heights of heaven and earth, follow me for a test. If your talent is too poor, even if Miss Chuyue makes an exception for you, you can only be a servant disciple. Jiang Shen still stared at him with determination. Someone on the side commented, He wants to break the Xinyu Gate's rules. This is hilarious. Another person agreed, If it weren't for his luck meeting Miss Chuyue, he couldn't even enter our sect gate. He dares to speak so arrogantly. Ji Chuyue reached the Xinyu Gate, where a large number of disciples had gathered. Ji Chuyue sneered. Wang Ziqin turned sideways to look in the other direction and loudly said, You know very well that Gu Chang'e is a scumbag, yet you still expect him to treat you well. Jiang Sisi still buried her face in her knees. Wang Ziqin continued to nag, This kind of scumbag, you should stay far away from him, don't let him touch you. Wang Ziqin helplessly supported his face with one hand and pointed at Jiang Sisi with the other, continuing to nag. Honestly, when we were at the place of silence, I already felt that something was off between you two. I didn't expect things to progress so quickly. Jiang Cici's face started to turn red. Wang Ziqin leaned closer to her face, widened his eyes, and gasped, I thought it was just a small country road, but you two have already gotten on the expressway. Jiang Cici slowly opened her eyes. Wang Ziqin excitedly jumped up, where did your pride go? You were the cautious saintess. You've been thinking about someone who doesn't love you, are you still yourself? Jiang Cici closed her eyes again and answered sadly, what should I do? I can't control myself anymore.